Chapter 940. Not to mention Abe Haruko. Even Abe Yofu is extremely shocked. How did this Chinese grow so much in just a few days? He had cultivated for 30 years before breaking through from the peak of perfection to the realm of a grandmaster. How'd he do it in just 10 days? This is impossible. Chillin' palm. Li Fan suddenly slaps his palm on Abe Yofu's chin. Ice and fire dual effects, producing a powerful destructive force. It is no longer the power of ice and fire, but the true fusion of yin and yang, followed by an explosion. Bang! Abe Yofu seems to feel the impact of a nuclear bomb. A strong airflow erupts from his body, and he is instantly sent flying into the air. Li Fan stands on the ground and points 2 fingers at Abe Yofu in midair. 10,000 swords as one. Tens of thousands of swords instantly appear in the air. These swords quickly fuse into the extraordinary sword, and then along with Li Fan's finger, it directly shoots out. Pooh! The extraordinary sword directly hits Abe Yofu, piercing through his body, directly crushing him in midair. Dang, dang, dang. A rain of swords explodes in the air, this rain of swords tearing every inch of Abe Yofu's flesh. But the flesh that was not torn off in time suddenly turns into pieces of paper, and the real Abe Yofu has unknowingly returned to the ground, panting heavily, re-examining Li Fan. Chinaman, I have underestimated you, but this kind of mistake, I will not make it again. Abe Yofu says as he raises his Kusanagi sword high up. The Kusanagi sword emits a dazzling golden light, draping over Abe Yofu's body. An old man with white hair and a ruddy complexion. The muscles on his body suddenly swell, and his hair instantly turns back to black. Hee ha 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 ha. Abe Yofu laughs. The Kusanagi sword can temporarily restore me to the state of when I was young. I will use my strongest form to kill you. Then I really have to thank you. Before Li Fan can finish his words, Abe Yofu is already in front of him, the sword in his hand continuously slashing at Li Fan. Li Fan carries the holy sword, barely able to fight. However, it was getting harder and harder for him. Soon, his forehead was covered in cold sweat. Abe Yofu was also getting more and more pleased with himself. He looked at Li Fan and kept mocking him. Foolish Chinaman, do you think you could defeat me just because you're a little stronger? You are all scum. The Chinas are an inferior race by nature and should be ruled by us Yamato people. I will liberate Huaxia and let you have true rule. As soon as Abe's words fell, Li Fan's fist suddenly landed on his cheek. He took a step back and looked at Li Fan again. This kid still has some strength to resist. I'm tired of hearing it. Li Fan dug his ears. What's in the game here? Do you think you can defeat me? Abe Yofu's aura erupted once again. Go to hell and dream on. Abe Yofu brandished his Kusanagi no Tsurugi and once again appeared in front of Li Fan. The greatsword swept towards Li Fan. At this moment, Li Fan's body suddenly erupted with a golden radiance. His skin began to turn crimson red. Surging true chi emerged, and a golden ring formed behind him, deliberately mystifying. Before Abe Yofu could finish his words, Li Fan suddenly appeared in front of him. At the same time, he raised his right leg and kicked Abe Yofu's head. Boom! Abe Yofu's body was ruthlessly smashed into the ground, creating a 3-meter radius crater. Following that, Li Fan landed in the crater and placed his palm on Abe Yofu's forehead. Dragon-spitting pearl. A powerful true chi struck Abe Yofu's body. Abe Yofu's body was directly turned into minced meat, leaving nothing behind. 10 seconds. Li Fan could only maintain this for 10 seconds. Within these 10 seconds, his heart rate was 10 times faster than normal. If it exceeds 10 seconds, Li Fan would die first. But after successfully dealing with this old devil, Li Fan could finally heave a sigh of relief. With Abe Yofu's death, his Kusanagi no Tsurugi also slowly disappeared. Abe Haruko directly knelt down. She did not have the slightest bit of strength left in her body. People of the Abe family, listen up. Li Fan stood on the dojo. His voice was wrapped in true chi and spread out in all directions. Using the Abe family as an example, from now on, If any family in Japan dares to offend my China, offend me, Li Fan, I will personally destroy their family. Abe Haruko looked at Li Fan. This man is so arrogant and unruly. Abe Haruko, I will be taking your family head away, Li Fan said as he directly carried Abe Haruko, who had not recovered, with one hand. From today onwards, she is Li Fan's hostage. Bastard! Let me go. Abe Haruko struggled with all her might, but after Li Fan said a few words, she immediately became obedient. If you don't go back with me, I will destroy all the Onmyoji here and make the Abe family completely disappear in the dust of history. When Li Fan said this, his voice was filled with killing intent. It did not seem like he was joking at all. Abe Haruko did not say anything and obediently allowed herself to be carried by Li Fan. If the Abe family is not obedient in the future, your family head will die in a foreign land. Li Fan threatened both sides. This directly went to the Abe family, one of the 3 major families in Japan, and snatched their family head back. Perhaps, in the future, Li Fan's name would also be famous in Japan, with the identity of a bandit. Li Fan left the Abe family for the second time. This time, he swaggered out with Jiang Yi by his side and Abe Haruko in his arms. Li Fan returned to the hotel in style and threw Abe Haruko onto the sofa. Li Fan, kill me. Abe Haruko sat on the sofa and looked at Li Fan with hatred. This old lady will not submit to you. I don't want to do anything to you. Li Fan shrugged his shoulders, took out a bottle of Coke from the fridge, and threw it to Abe Haruko. Just be an obedient hostage. Oh, right. Don't you want to play the cello? When you return to China, I will recommend you a band. You can try it. How do you know that I like to play the cello? Abe Haruko caught the Coke and looked at Li Fan with a frown. I looked it up. For an influential figure like you, I can find it on Baidu. Li Fan took out a bottle of ice water, and Abe Haruko immediately asked, why don't you drink Coke? Are you crazy? I'm a martial artist. This kind of carbonated drink naturally needs to be reduced. This old lady is also afraid of getting fat. Abe Haruko rolled her eyes, but Li Fan laughed. You can convert the Coke's energy into spiritual energy. Then can't you convert the Coke's energy into true chi? I can. Li Fan nodded his head, but I still need to refine it. It is too troublesome. Chapter 941. Xiaohe went out to buy groceries, and Chen Junhua should be practicing his swordsmanship in the yard downstairs, so only Jiang Yi accompanied her in the room. Li Fan and Abe Haruko sat face to face, staring at each other. Li Fan was quite casual. He crossed his legs and was drinking ice water. Drinking ice water is also bad for the body. Abe Haruko could not bear it anymore, so she said, you might as well drink Coke. Why do you like to nitpick? Li Fan looked Abe Haruko up and down. You don't say your aunt in her 30s looks quite young. Do you want to die? Abe Haruko clenched her fists, and spiritual power began to emerge from her body. How can you evade your age? Li Fan reminded her. I know a woman. She is already a few hundred years old, but she never avoids her age. Nonsense. How can there be a few hundred years old woman? The boundless world is full of strange things. Before I met the Onmyoji, I didn't know anything about Shikigami and curse techniques. Li Fan frankly said, don't you know now? Humph, the Abe family will definitely take revenge for me. No, I will definitely take revenge myself. If you want to take revenge, you can, Li Fan said. As long as you are willing to compete with me fair and square, no matter when you find me, I can fight with you. Fighting, of course it must be fair and square, Abe Haruko said without hesitation, and I can definitely defeat you. Just you wait. Okay, but you still have to go back to China with me. Li Fan also has his own thoughts in taking Abe Haruko back. With Abe Haruko here, Li Fan is not afraid of the Abe family playing any tricks. They can smoothly board the plane back to China. Another point, once Abe Haruko leaves, the Abe family will definitely fall into internal strife. As the saying goes, a group of dragons without a leader, they have to choose a temporary leader, which will definitely cause internal friction. Third, taking away the head of the Abe family is also a warning to the other families in the island. Don't provoke me. Whoever provokes me, I'll go straight to your house and kidnap him. The power of the three great clans of the island country could be considered to be relatively equal. Now that they had done this, the entire island country should be on the side. Li Fan, can you tell me how you became so much stronger in just 10 days? Abe Haruko could not help but ask. I know it's rude to ask like this. It's fine if you don't want to answer. It's okay, you can answer. Li Fan didn't mind. I still have to thank you for this. Thank me? Yeah, because I was inspired to see you and your spirit-branded retainer as one. As Li Fan spoke, he extended his hand and summoned the flying lion goddess. The heroic flying lion goddess stood there, her golden armor reflecting the afterglow of the setting sun. You're not a spirit-branded retainer, right? Abe Haruko couldn't help but reach out and touch the armor of the flying lion goddess. This degree of realism was something that spirit-branded retainers couldn't compare to. Yep, not a spirit-branded retainer. Li Fan nodded. This is a superpower of my friend, materializing a type of card. I can use it after I inject true chi into it. She has been with me since she was born, and it's been a long time now. The reason why spirit-branded retainer can fuse with me is because we have the same spiritual power and are on the same wavelength. Abe Haruko summoned the demon samurai and stood beside her. If we can't reach the same wavelength, there's no way to fuse with it. Instead, we'll hurt ourselves. Since you're not a spirit-branded retainer and you don't understand spiritual power, how are you able to do this? Spiritual power, spirit-branded retainer, true chi, superpower, to put it bluntly, it's just a type of energy. Li Fan flicked his palm away. Today I disperse the energy in your body, so your spiritual power will be completely empty. In the end, as long as you can control energy, you'll be able to control the true meaning of power. Energy, Abe Haruko seemed to understand something. How about this? I'll acknowledge you as my master. Huh? I'll acknowledge you as my master. Learn the use of energy from you. And then, after I become stronger, I'll defeat you. Li Fan was a bit speechless. This woman is a bit too capricious. What's wrong? You don't dare. You're the head of the dignified Abe family. Acknowledging me, a Chinese, as your master, are you not afraid of being laughed at when you go back? The strong is the master. What's there to be laughed at? Abe Haruko directly said, You're stronger than me. So naturally, you can be my master. Okay, then kneel down and kowtow to me 3 times. Li Fan half-jokingly pointed to the ground. Remember, it's a kowtow. Okay. Abe Haruko knelt down without hesitation and kowtowed 3 times to the ground. Bang, 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 3 times, one louder than the other. Even if Li Fan wanted to embarrass her, he swallowed the rest of his words. Master, in the future, this disciple will go through water and tread on fire for master, without hesitation. Abe Haruko, with a blue and red mark on her head, raised her body and cupped her hands towards Li Fan. Okay, I was joking at first, but since you've already kowtowed, then from today onwards, you're my 4th disciple. Li Fan reached out his hand and touched Abe Haruko's forehead. True chi entered, promoting blood circulation and removing blood stasis, and the wound on Abe Haruko's forehead immediately healed a lot. To be honest, I originally planned to accept 2 disciples. Since you're here, you could be considered as my last disciple. Thank you, Master. Abe Haruko decided to follow Li Fan and learn things so that she could become stronger in the future. She doesn't want to be suppressed by Li Fan forever. She must defeat Li Fan. Who is this? Xiaohou just pushed the door open and entered, followed by Chun Junhua, who was sweating profusely. Chun Junhua probably bumped into Xiaohou as he was helping Xiaohou to carry bags of various ingredients and meat. Xiaohou immediately saw Abe Haruko sitting on the sofa. This woman was wearing a kimono, and her face was covered in dirt, making it impossible to not notice her. Let me introduce you guys. This is the head of the Abe family, Abe Haruko. Li Fan introduced. Xiaohou and Chun Junhua immediately acted as if they were facing a great enemy, while Abe Haruko hurriedly ran forward and bowed deeply to them, before reaching out to take Chun Junhua's things. You must be Master's friend. I'm sorry. What's going on? Xiaohou was a little confused. From today onwards, she's my little disciple. In the future, if you guys have any hard work, just order her to do it. Okay. Previously, Abe Haruko was still arrogant, but now she had completely restrained herself. She did whatever Li Fan said, and she was like a little wife. Xiao was a little unhappy. Didn't he come to Japan to start a war? Why did he bring a girl back? Is there an end to this? Chapter 942. Li Fan kept his promise. Going abroad openly was also returning in a dignified manner. Although he killed Abe Yoshio, this person had disappeared from Japan's register for decades, and no one remembered his existence. Li Fan's methods were also clean and neat. When he killed Abe Yoshio, there was not a single trace left, not even a DNA test at the scene. Therefore, it was as if Abe Yoshio had never appeared. In addition, Li Fan also brought Abe Haruko back to the country, so the Abe family did not dare to touch him. Even if the other families wanted to make a move, they would first have to consider Li Fan's words. Li Fan returned to the country like a national hero, but after he returned, he suffered the same supercilious looks from all the women. We're going to become a women's nest here. Why don't we open a maid cafe? There's no need to waste so many girls. I think so too. How is it like an escort agency? A few women gathered together and chatted, expressing their dissatisfaction in various ways. Li Fan had a headache. There were a lot of people in this escort agency now, especially women. For example, Yang Shueiyue. She was Guan Wenbao's private property, but she was still a woman. Next were Xiaya, Lin Yuechen, Jiang Yi, He Chi-Chi, Imperial Concubine Zhou, Abe Haruko, and the two external helpers, Liao Wushuang and In Xiaoru. Li Fan did not have the mood to care about these. The first thing he did after returning was to find Imperial Concubine Zhou for a fight. However, Imperial Concubine Zhou was still in seclusion and would not come out at all, so Li Fan could only give up. For the rest of the time, Li Fan did not dare to delay and quickly revised his homework. The second mock would be in a while. The principal came over and asked if the second mock could be increased by 50 points, but Li Fan righteously rejected it. This old fox still wanted to trick him, no way. However, during this period of time, Li Fan focused on his studies. He did not go back on his words. He asked Ling Tian to arrange for Abe Haruko to go to a band in the city to play the cello. Since this girl liked it, there was no need to stop her. Originally, he pulled this girl over to warn and weaken the Abe family. As long as she didn't return to China, she could do whatever she wanted. For the time being, Haruko didn't intend to return to China. She was very interested in him and wholeheartedly wanted to squeeze out all of his knowledge about energy. On the other hand, Li Fan went to Japan to fight, which made the forces in Japan know their place. During this period of time, no one came to find trouble with Li Fan, and the Li family island was also very peaceful. Li Fan calmly finished the second mock exam. This time, Li Fan scored 570 points, which was probably Li Fan's limit. With your score, you can enter a pretty good second-class school. Lin Yuechen hugged Li Fan's arm. As the two of them walked out of the teaching building, she gave advice to Li Fan. If it's 211, it's still a little lacking. Li Fan didn't dare to think too much. He would be satisfied if he could get into a decent school. University was a kind of life, a life that everyone should enjoy. A decent university was enough. There is no need to risk your life to get into a difficult university. People like Lin Yuechen were an exception. Her IQ was higher than others. Even if she wanted to give up, it would not be easy to get into a normal university. This girl was born to go to a good university. There was not much time left before the college entrance examination. This short love life of the two of them should be coming to an end soon. Thinking about it, it seemed quite legendary. The two of them went from being hostile at the beginning to trying to fall in love. Later, they really tried to fall in love. So, things like dating were still uncertain. Even if they didn't like each other at the beginning, they might fall in love with each other later. Falling in love was amazing. Although Li Fan had some control over his energy, he had no wisdom or experience when it came to relationships. He always felt that love was a metaphysics, and girls were strange creatures that he couldn't understand. Mr. Li, the two of them walked to the door, but they were blocked by a black Mercedes-Benz. Yufeng stood beside the car and bowed respectfully to Li Fan. All right then, Moon Immortal, you go back to the security agency first. I'll be back in a while. And Lin Yuhsn nodded and left obediently. Yufeng opened the car door for Li Fan. Li Fan got in and saw that Miss Lu Xinan was indeed sitting inside. This commercial Mercedes-Benz had luxurious facilities inside, just like a luxury cabin on land. Lu Xinan was wearing a purple dress, sitting there with a wine glass in her hand, slowly swirling it. Seeing Li Fan come in, she first glanced at Li Fan's hand, then retracted her gaze and said casually, "You're living good life, hooking up with that girl? Her name is Lin Yuhsn. You know her. Her name is Lin Yuhsn. It's not like you don't know her." Li Fan casually opened the fridge and took out a bottle of Coke. He thought for a moment, put the Coke back, picked up a bottle of red wine, and poured himself a glass. "Miss Lu, why are you looking for me so late at night? Do I have to look for you for something?" Lu Xinan looked at Li Fan. "When did you and I become so estranged?" "I don't think so. You're the one who thinks so." Li Fan shrugged his shoulders. "I've always regarded us as good friends." "You're talking nonsense." Lu Xinan stared at Li Fan, as if she wanted to pierce through Li Fan with her eyes. "I clearly see in your eyes disgust." "Why should I disgust you?" "You hate me for embarrassing you in front of so many people, and even made you chop off your hand. Isn't everything fine now?" Li Fan shook his hand. "You just hate me, you hate me." Lu Xinan grabbed Li Fan's collar. Hey, a gentleman uses his mouth, not his fists." Li Fan hurriedly shouted, "So what if I do? You must hate me, otherwise why didn't you look for me for so long?" Lu Xinan was almost on top of Li Fan. The car started slowly, as if she didn't want to let go of Li Fan. Lu Xinan stared at Li Fan's eyes. "Tell me, do you hate me?" "Miss Lu, we're all civilized people. Can't you use a civilized way to talk?" Li Fan said. "Aren't you a bit barbaric?" "I'm barbaric?" Lu Xinan almost laughed out of anger. "Believe it or not, this lady has a more barbaric way." With that, Lu Xinan began to untie Li Fan's collar, which scared Li Fan to tremble. "Fuck, sister, what do you want to do?" "Fuck you." Lu Xinan licked her lips and looked at Li Fan. "Didn't you say I'm barbaric? Now this lady will show you what real barbaric is." Chapter 943. Lu Xinan is like a wild cat, sitting in the car, desperately tearing Li Fan's clothes. This car is soundproof. Moreover, it is an enclosed space. Even Yufeng, who is sitting in the front, cannot see what is happening inside the car. "Don't mess around. I'm not such a casual person." Li Fan tried to push this person away, but he did not dare to use too much strength, lest he hurt Lu Xinan. "If you're not casual, then I am. Today, this lady will do it with you, as repayment for forcing you to chop your hand last time." "What the? How can it be like this?" Li Fan is dumbfounded. "How can you repay a debt like this? Moreover, no matter how I look at it, it looks like you are the one who wants to take advantage of me. Go to hell." Lu Xinan's face turned red for the first time. "No matter what, this lady is still a beauty. Now that I have given myself to you, and the first thing I want to do is car sex. Isn't that exciting? Exciting, too exciting. My heart can't take it anymore." Li Fan quickly said, "I am still young. I can't accept such an exciting thing." "Come on, you're still young? Come. Let this lady see if you're young or not." With that, Lu Xinan goes to untie Li Fan's belt, scaring Li Fan so much that he almost peed. "Miss Lu, don't be impulsive. Listen to my advice. Less nonsense. How can a man be so wishy-washy?" Lu Xinan is like a drug, crazily attacking Li Fan's body, wishing to eat Li Fan. "This is not good, Miss Lu." Li Fan still strongly refuses. "What's not good?" Lu Xinan asked. "Previously, you had a fiancé named Murong Ying. Now that the two of you have broken up, why can't you do it? I will take you in, and you can be my man with peace of mind." "I don't want it." "Why? What's wrong with me?" As Lu Xinan spoke, she had already lifted her skirt and was straddling Li Fan's body. "What's wrong with me? What do you lose by marrying me? The entire black market in City A is under my management, and you know the level of the group. You don't need me to advertise for you, do you? Miss Lu is naturally the object of affection. Li Fan explained, "You're very beautiful, and your family background is very prominent. But the problem was that I didn't want to get married, nor did I want to marry a random woman. If I, Li Fan, want to marry someone, the prerequisite is that I must love her. You don't love me? I have a good impression of him, but not love." Li Fan said honestly, "With Miss Lu's appearance, it's impossible for a man to not have a good impression of you. My father married before falling in love. After we get married, you can slowly fall in love with me. Do you think I'm the kind of person who will be forced?" Humph. Lu Xinan looked at Li Fan angrily. "I don't care. I've been going crazy recently. My mind is full of you. It's impossible between the two of us." Lu Xinan. Li Fan felt that he should be more ruthless. Too much warmth would instead let Lu Xinan have unrealistic fantasies, which was not good. "I'm going to take the college entrance exam soon, and then I'll go to another city. We won't meet for 4 years, and then you'll slowly forget me." "Impossible. You don't know me at all." Lu Xinan pulled Li Fan. "I'm a Sagittarius woman. Once I fall in love with a man, it's impossible for me to forget him. Li Fan, after so many years, you're the first man that I've fallen in love with. I'm honored, but there's still no possibility between us." Li Fan emphasized again, "If there's no possibility, then there's no possibility. Then give me a son." Lu Xinan began to tear Li Fan's belt, but Li Fan secretly added true qi to the belt, making Lu Xinan unable to pull it off. "Give me a son. Later on, I'll be responsible for taking care of the child. You can do whatever you want." Li Fan was about to collapse. How could this woman have the same hobby as Mu Rongying? Wanted me to give her a child? Isn't this a joke? I'm not a stud horse. Li Fan pushed Lu Xinan away and pushed her back to her seat. "Lu Xinan, I think we're still good friends. That's why I got on your car. Don't go too far. Please cherish our friendship." "Li Fan, do you really want to be so ruthless?" Lu Xinan looked at Li Fan with some pain in her eyes. "This is not ruthless, it's the truth." Li Fan looked at Lu Xinan and said word by word, "We're originally friends and have supported each other until now. I don't want our friendship to be destroyed." "I hate it. I hate it too." Li Fan frowned. "Lu Xinan, I have a girlfriend now. It's not good for you to be like this." "Your girlfriend? Lin Yuhsin? Compared to her, how am I worse?" "Of course not." Li Fan did not deny it. "Both of you have your own good points. No matter which one of you, men will flock to you like a flock of ducks. But I'm not one of them. I've only been dating Lin Yuhsin for a short period of time. We've agreed to break up peacefully after entering university." "Li Fan, I really don't understand you. Are you gay?" Lu Xinan looked at Li Fan in shock. "Of course not." Li Fan immediately denied. "My sexual orientation is normal." "Then why don't you like any of these girls? What are you trying to do?" "My mind isn't on this." Li Fan told the truth. "Lu Xinan, you're also the person in charge of a group. You should know what it feels like to have a burden on your shoulders. I'm carrying this burden now. My biggest thought at the moment is to improve my martial arts so that I can step into the realm of a grandmaster as soon as possible." Looking at Li Fan's serious look, Lu Xinan was anxious and angry at the same time. Ever since she was young, she had never lost anything that she wanted to obtain. But Li Fan was an exception that made Lu Xinan's heart itch. Why did he have to slip out of her grasp? How annoying. If she couldn't get Li Fan, she would definitely go crazy. Lu Xinan, why are you so useless today?" Lu Xinan felt like crying. She stretched her hand to the back of her waist. Lu Xinan pulled out a pistol. It was a delicate PPK, a small pistol suitable for girls. "What the hell? What are you doing? Since I can't get you, I might as well destroy you." Lu Xinan pulled the safety. "I'll kill you first, then I'll commit suicide. That way, we can still be a couple in the underworld." "You're crazy." Li Fan looked at Lu Xinan, who had gone crazy, and grabbed her wrist. "You should go see a doctor, crazy woman." Chapter 944. I'm not crazy. I'm very calm right now. Lu Xinan's words were indeed very calm. With tears in her eyes, she looked at Li Fan. "I know this is the only way to be with you. Li Fan, I don't want to be so uncomfortable anymore. I hate being like this. I miss you every day and every night. I'm very sad. We're all civilized people. Why you have to be so violent? Can we have a good chat? Li Fan tried to persuade Lu Xinan. This girl was getting more and more extreme. First of all, you can't kill me with a pistol. Secondly, it's not good for us to do this. I also installed a bomb in the car. Lu Xinan almost scared Li Fan. If I can't kill you with a pistol, I will detonate the bomb, and we'll all go to heaven together. Lu Xinan, are we enemies? Lu Xinan nodded. Fuck, when did this happen? In my eyes, if you're not a lover, then you're an enemy. Lu Xinan's answer was neat. For a moment, Li Fan couldn't refute it. Don't make trouble. The bomb can't kill me. The only one who will die is you. At that time, Yu Feng will accompany you to be husband and wife. Li Fan's words seemed to wake up Lu Xinan. She opened a small box next to her and pressed a button. A small light on it turned green. What's this? Nothing, just deactivating the timer. Lu Xinan's understated answer made Li Fan almost collapse. My dear Miss Lu, we don't need to play this way, right? My means have always been like this. Don't you understand? Lu Xinan's serious look made Li Fan almost collapse. How about this, Lu Xinan? Let's all take a step back. Lu Xinan raised her eyebrows. Continue. Well, it's not like I don't have any feelings for you. How about this? We give each other a chance. After I go to university, if you can wait for me for 4 years, when I come back after 4 years, I will fall in love with you, get married, and have children with you. Is that okay? Are you kidding me? For years? After 4 years, I'll be old. Lu Xinan snorted coldly. You're not that old. 4 years later, you will be in the prime of your life. I'm a woman. Every day of a woman's life is as precious as gold. Lu Xinan reminded Li Fan, your suggestion isn't fair. It doesn't have any value at all. You're just messing with me. 2 years, how about 2 years? 1 year. Lu Xinan raised a finger. I'll wait for you for a year. After a year, if I still like you, you have to date me. As for marriage, it can wait a bit. I'm not that conservative. You see, marrying a tolerant and magnanimous woman like me. Are you still not satisfied? I'm satisfied. I'm quite satisfied. Since we've come to an agreement, you should let me off the car. Li Fan was in deep shit. He was just a high school student, yet he was being forced to marry by 3 women. There was even a woman who wanted to date him. What was going on? What was so good about him? You're not willing to stay with me for a minute. Lu Xinan frowned and looked at Li Fan unhappily. Li Fan said, be reasonable. We've been together for more than 10 minutes. No, I still have things to do at the security agency. How can I leave such a big mess alone? Li Fan made up an excuse. He hoped that Lu Xinan could calm down alone. You bastard. I really don't know what I like about you. Damn, I said it's my honor to have you take a liking to me. My ancestors' graves are emitting smoke. Li Fan quickly corrected himself. Stop fooling around. I really should get off the car. All right, we'll have plenty of time in the future anyway. Lu Xinan cheered up. She pressed on the box again, and the green light on it disappeared. What do you mean? It's really nothing this time. You can get off the car. Li Fan felt a chill run down his spine. He really did not know what Lu Xinan would have done if he had not taken a step back. This woman, she's a lunatic. A year was just a delaying tactic. He hoped that Lu Xinan was just acting on the spur of the moment and would quickly calm down during this year. Li Fan returned to the security agency. After revising his lessons, he practiced 2 rounds of boxing before washing up and going to bed. The next day, he went to school as usual. The 3rd mock examination was imminent, and the students were all very nervous. It was like this before the college entrance examination. Once the 3rd mock examination was over, all the students would suddenly relax. This was because the results of the 3rd mock examination determined everything. No matter how hard they worked, they would not be able to improve much in the next few days. During the period between the 3rd mock examination and the college entrance examination, the school would be more relaxed and give more time to the students themselves. In the morning, they were talking about some of the questions from the previous exam. Li Fan could answer most of them, which made him very satisfied. During the lunch break, Lin Yuhsin took out lunch for two. Seeing her take out a big lunchbox and place it on the table, many male students were envious. This Lin Yuhsin was the campus belle. She was taking care of Li Fan like a loving wife and loving mother. It was really enviable. Yeah, did any make this braised pork today? Li Fan looked at the fragrant red braised meat and said, "It seems different. I made it." Lin Yuhsin rolled her eyes at Li Fan. "Beer braised pork. I learned it from the internet. It seems a little sweet. Try it. Not bad. You know more and more dishes." Lin Yuhsin picked up a piece of braised pork and fed it to Li Fan. "You can even open a restaurant in the future." Li Fan praised her as he ate. "What's wrong with you today? Why are you so sweet?" Lin Yuhsin suddenly winked at Li Fan and lowered her voice. "How about I feed you with my mouth?" Li Fan shuddered when he heard this. He looked around and saw many guys glaring at him angrily. If they saw this, they would be so angry that their lungs would explode. But it seemed like it was not bad to enjoy this feeling. Before Li Fan could make up his mind, a sweet voice came from outside the door. "Honey, I brought you something to eat." Everyone turned their heads and saw a beautiful woman, dressed in a cowboy outfit, walking in with an alluring charm. Behind her was a bodyguard in a black suit, carrying a large food box in his hand. Everyone felt strange. Who is this beauty? Li Fan's head swelled as he stood there foolishly. What the heck? Why is she here? "Dear, I brought you a lot of food." This beauty was like a gust of wind. She pulled a chair from the side and sat in front of Li Fan as if there was no one else around. Then she let the bodyguard open the lunchbox and put it on the table. Chapter 945. This is Mandala's Australian lobster. This is Quan Jud's Peking duck. This is black general steak. Yufeng placed the plates of delicacies in front of Li Fan. Lu Xinan sat opposite Li Fan, holding her chin with both hands as she looked at Li Fan. Her eyes curved into crescent moons, filled with love. Lin Yuhsin sat at the side in shock, looking at the woman who suddenly barged in. The others in the classroom were also stunned. "What's going on?" "Lu Xinan, you." Li Fan suddenly didn't know what to say. "Lu Xinan, what are you doing?" Lin Yuhsin calmed down first and asked directly, "This is my boyfriend. I'll worry about what he eats for lunch." "Yes, he's your boyfriend now, but it won't be long, right?" Lu Xinan didn't turn her head and kept looking at Li Fan, but she said, "It won't be long before the two of you break up. But Li Fan promised me that 1 year later, he'll be in a relationship with me." Lin Yuhsin almost lost her temper. But she was a woman with an IQ of over 140 after all. On second thought, she could roughly guess the situation. "That's a matter for 1 year later. Right now, he's still mine." "Thank you. Please leave." "So what if it's a year later? He'll be mine anyway." "That's different." Lin Yuhsin put forward a concept. "It's like I have a car now and promise to sell it to you 1 year later. But now, you come to my place every day and want to drive my car. How can that be? You're also a businessman. Can you accept this kind of unreasonable thing?" "Fuck, who's a car?" Li Fan wanted to curse. "Little sister, what you said is somewhat reasonable." Lu Xinan finally turned her head, and her gaze fell on Lin Yuhsin. "It's a waste of your talent to work under Li Fan. Why don't you come to my company and be my consultant?" "Look, do I look like I'm short of work?" Lin Yuhsin smiled and said, "As for you, this isn't your workplace. Please respect the school and don't come and go as you please." "Thank you. Isn't it just a school? I'm happy, I'll buy it. Let's talk about it after you buy it." Lin Yuhsin kindly did the math for her. "Our school is a shareholding company. If you want to buy the school, you have to buy at least 30% of the shares. By the time you're done buying these shares, we'll be graduating. When the time comes, if possible, try to buy our university as well." Lin Yuhsin's words made Lu Xinan's face turn red and white. In any case, it was not a good color. "Little girl, you really have a sharp tongue." Lu Xinan immediately retorted, "But after university, you won't be together anymore. If you want to enjoy, then enjoy the present. Drive this car for me first. I'll come back to get the car key. Then just wait." Hey, that's enough, you two." Li Fan finally couldn't take it anymore. "Who's the car?" "You." The two women simultaneously glared at Li Fan. "Fine. Remember to take good care of me. Li Fan didn't say anything. He admitted defeat. The combined fighting power of these two women was not something to be trifled with. Yufeng, let's go. Lu Xinan was a little unhappy. A feeling of defeat pierced her heart. She ordered and prepared to leave with Yufeng. Take your food as well. Lin Yuxian reminded her, my car is still under my control. Outsiders are prohibited from refueling. Take it away. Lu Xinan stomped her feet and let Yufeng pick up the food box. Then she turned around and left the classroom. Lin Yuxian made a victory sign to Li Fan. Aren't you angry? Li Fan asked. What's there to be angry about? Eat, it's going to get cold. Lin Yuxian picked some food for Li Fan, but Li Fan looked at her and asked, you're really not angry? What do you want me to do? I'm just a weak woman. Lin Yuxian faintly sighed. Moreover, I'm a weak woman who will be abandoned after a month. This, well, just like what Lu Xinan said, enjoy the present. Lin Yuxian seemed to have gotten over it. Maybe we'll be together in the future, right? Yes, you're right. Li Fan nodded. He was relieved that Lin Yuxian was so considerate. The surrounding students were all jealous to death. Li Fan, this bastard, was it not enough to have Lin Yuxian? He even kept such a beautiful woman as a spare tire. What a lunatic. Li Fan temporarily got over the crisis with Lu Xinan. In the following days, he was busy preparing for the college entrance examination while dating Lin Yuxian. After the third mock, Li Fan's score was 571, which was basically the score range. Spring passed, and summer came. When the girls all changed into short shorts, the college entrance examination came along with the heat. In the period before the college entrance examination, the school was almost on holiday. There was no one in the classroom. Even the students who loved to study had gone to the internet cafe to vent. Li Fan followed a few of his good classmates and went to the internet cafe to play LOL for a few days. He hadn't played on the computer for a long time, and LOL had been changed for 2 seasons. Li Fan was a little unfamiliar with the heroes here. Lin Yuxian sat next to him. She played the support position, specially to protect and escort Li Fan. This girl's IQ was extraordinary. She learned everything very quickly. After playing for less than 3 days, her hammering stones were almost at the professional level. Damn, Lin Yuxian, you can play in the competition now. The students who were playing LOL with Li Fan couldn't help but praise Lin Yuxian's positioning and awareness. Basically, Lin Yuxian's hooks hit 9 times out of 10. She was very good at it. How are your hooks so accurate? Can you teach me? It's to observe the opponent's habits. Lin Yuxian casually said, everyone has their own positioning habits. As long as you understand it, you can basically hook it. Awesome. The students couldn't help but praise her. One of them pointed at the computer and laughed. The opponent's little pal is so bad. Li Fan glanced at the little pal who was on the opposite side. It was killed by the tower because it tried to steal. For a moment, Li Fan fell into memories. This little pal was almost the same as Mu Rongying. Her level was not that good. She only played with him for a while. It seemed that things were still the same, but the people had changed. They played for an entire afternoon and almost never lost. Let's go home. Li Fan picked up his bag. It's boring to keep winning. You brat, you have a nerve to say that it's all Lin Yuxian's credit. Come, let's play 2 more rounds. I want to get a diamond. I'm not playing anymore. Tomorrow is the college entrance exam. I'm going home to study. Li Fan pulled Lin Yuxian, said goodbye to the students, and turned to leave the internet cafe. Chapter 946. Lin Yuxian obediently followed behind Li Fan. Along the way, she didn't say a word and just silently let Li Fan hold her hand as they walked. The parasol trees on both sides were luxuriant with leaves blooming beautifully. The two of them walked on the road without saying a word, as if they were enjoying this short period of time. Tomorrow is the college entrance examination. Which school do you plan to apply for? Seeing a couple kissing on the side of the road, the two of them felt slightly uncomfortable. In order to ease the awkward atmosphere, Lin Yuxian asked, maybe G University. When Li Fan said a university in the south, Lin Yuxian was a bit surprised. Your score is almost enough, but why did you choose a university in the south? Because there are a lot of martial arts schools there. Li Fan smiled. I plan to open a martial arts school there, accept more disciples, and teach them my martial arts. As Li Fan said that, he looked at a panting fatty on the side of the road. Most of the Chinese are in sub-health, weak and sickly. I hope that my 7-gallon fist can have some effect on strengthening the body. Your current realm is a bit too high. Lin Yuchisen looked at Li Fan in surprise. I feel a bit unworthy. What are you talking about? Our moon immortal is a goddess. Li Fan pulled Lin Yuchen's hand, leaned in front of her, and lightly kissed her forehead. Belongs to my goddess. Humph. Recently you've become very good at sweet-talking. Lin Yuchisen pouted and lightly rolled her eyes at Li Fan. No way, it's true. Li Fan touched his conscience and said, Also, I'm not joking about opening a martial arts school. I heard that Guangzhou is the hometown of martial arts, and there are more experts there. I still want to go and meet them. Moreover, the martial arts schools there are more formal and still retain some martial arts culture. Do you want to carry forward China's martial arts culture? Yes. Li Fan nodded. After making a trip to the island nation and seeing the support of the island nation's samurai culture, Li Fan could not help but sigh. When he was in Japan, he could often see karate dojos and kendo dojos. And in China, only Wing Chun had just become popular because of the movie Ip Man. As for most of the ancient martial arts practitioners in Huaxia, they were almost lost because of the four olds and sectarian bias. Otherwise, the sects would be locked down tightly, and the sect rules would be strict. There would be layers of selections, and almost no ordinary people would be allowed to enter to learn. Li Fan was the exact opposite. He intended to bring his 7 hero fists to greater heights. This fist technique was currently ranked 8th in the Divine Skill Manual, and could be considered a peerless divine skill. Li Fan was probably the first person who could spread his kung fu like him. What about the escort agency? Lin Yuchisen hurriedly asked. I'll leave the escort agency's matters to Big Dipper, Chun Junhua, Yin Kai, and little senior sister Xia Yin. Li Fan had already thought it through. I'll go there and open a dojo myself. I'll start from scratch. Sometimes, there are things on you that really attract me. Lin Yuchisen pulled Li Fan's hand. It would be great if I could walk down this path with you. We're still friends. Li Fan looked at Lin Yuchisen's beautiful face and said, This will never change. Actually, I'm very curious who the woman who will be by your side in the future will be. Lin looked at Li Fan, her gaze unwilling to leave. I'm even more curious. Maybe it will be our moon immortal. I'm not a spare tire. Lin Yuchisen said, When I'm in university, I want to find a handsome boyfriend who will buy me breakfast every day, then we'll study together and go out to play at night. If he truly loves me, when we're in our 2nd or 3rd year, we'll rent a house outside and live together. Li Fan's heart thumped wildly when he heard this. It felt as if someone had pinched his heart. It was extremely uncomfortable. What's wrong? Seeing Li Fan's pale complexion, Lin Yuchisen reached out and touched Li Fan's forehead with the back of her hand. Are you sick? I'm a martial artist. How could I be sick? A common cold won't affect me at all. That's true. Then why do you look so pale? It's nothing. Li Fan waved his hand. He didn't know what was wrong with him, but he suddenly felt especially uncomfortable. I'm just a little. Li Fan was about to speak when a black Audi A6 suddenly drove over. The car stopped beside Li Fan, and a familiar voice came from the car. Get in. You go back first. I have something to do. Li Fan instructed Lin Yuchisen. Seeing Li Fan's serious expression, Lin Yuchisen didn't say much and turned to leave. Li Fan got into the Audi and saw Zhou Tai sitting next to him. The A6 started slowly. Weren't you arrested? Looks like your information network is pretty good. Zhou Tai laughed bitterly. I was only able to come out after you finished off the Japanese. Aren't you going to thank me? This is only temporary. Zhou Tai's voice was gloomy. I've already been demoted, so I can't protect you now. You're in a vacuum, and there's no one above you to protect you. I'm afraid those gangsters are going to make a move on you. It's okay. I'm prepared. What about X? What should I do? Li Fan asked. This is why I came to find you. Zhou Tai looked at Li Fan. Hand over X. We can't protect it anymore. Hand it over and let the Japanese and Americans develop it together? Li Fan laughed coldly. Do you think I'll agree? Li Fan, don't be silly. It's not yours in the first place. Zhou Tai reminded Li Fan. This is politics. The higher-ups sent me here to give you an ultimatum. If you don't hand it over, it won't do you any good. There are so many people on the Li family island. You don't want them to die with you, right? What? The higher-ups want to attack the Li family island. The ownership of this island already belongs to us. Do they want to invade? China has never taken the initiative to invade other countries. Zhou Tai said bluntly. However, it doesn't mean that other countries won't. Just let them come. Li Fan did not give in this time. I'm afraid of them. Li Fan was raised by the Japanese. I knew it. You wouldn't agree. Zhou Tai sighed. He glanced at Li Fan, then reached out his hand. This time, let's treat it as a farewell. All right, we've known each other for a while. We'll still be friends in the future. Li Fan reached out and shook Zhou Tai's hand. Be careful. Zhou Tai mouthed to Li Fan, then let go of his hand. Think about it. Don't make things too tense. Got it. Li Fan nodded, then pushed the door open and got out of the car. Chapter 9:47. As soon as Li Fan got out of the car, he suddenly stretched out his right hand. A bullet was caught in his hand. The bullet was still emitting white smoke. It was a sniper rifle bullet. Although Li Fan did not know much about sniper rifles, he could still tell a little about bullets. There was an abandoned construction site nearby. Li Fan had not determined the location of the sniper, but he was sure that the sniper was hiding on one of the floors, waiting to assassinate him. However, if it was just an ordinary sniper, how could he kill him? You guys might be retarded. Li Fan looked at the surrounding buildings. His voice was wrapped in true chi and spread to every corner of the building. Sending a sniper to kill me? And even if you kill me, can you get X? No matter who is in charge this time, stop joking, okay? The Audi A6 had already driven far away. Zhou Tai had already reminded Li Fan once out of kindness. However, Li Fan was not particularly worried. Even if the higher-ups wanted to kill him, they would have to send someone in secret. On the surface, he was still a law-abiding citizen. They could not do anything to him. This was the person who had secretly come to kill him. Who could it be? Bang! Before Li Fan could figure it out, a figure was thrown down from the third floor and landed heavily on the ground. Li Fan looked over and saw a man lying on the ground. He was wearing a black special combat suit and lying in a pool of blood. An SVD had also fallen beside him, proving his identity. I've already said that he can handle the matter here alone. Why bother looking for a burden? Another voice flew out. Li Fan turned his head and saw a man in a red robe with heavy makeup. He had a coquettish aura and was slowly descending from the third floor. Hiding your head and showing your tail. You don't look like a real hero at all. Sent by the king? Li Fan looked at the commander of the embroidered uniform guards who had become a eunuch. He did not know what he was doing here. The higher-ups have sent someone to kill you, and they want a qualified person. This burden has been thrown around, and in the end, it has fallen onto someone else. Wang Jian touched his cheek with his fingers. It's good to see you. Wang, medical science is so advanced now. I'll recommend you to a hospital that can reattach your thing. Li Fan advised. I don't want it. My current appearance is pretty good. I don't want that dirty male body. Wang Jian covered her mouth with one hand and giggled. Or is it because I'm not beautiful enough that you're unhappy? Fuck, that's not beautiful enough. That's called a transvestite pervert. Okay. Motherfucker. Then I can introduce 2 strong men to you. All right, there's also a handsome man. How about Yin Kai? His looks will definitely satisfy you. Well, he is indeed very handsome. His small appearance is not bad, but he's not masculine enough to attract people. Wang Jian raised his thumb and middle finger and smiled at Li Fan, causing Li Fan to have goosebumps all over his body. Commander, let's talk nicely. Come, let's talk closer. Wang Jian hooked his hand at Li Fan, and Li Fan's body uncontrollably flew toward him. Small phaseless divine art. Wang Jian had almost trained this martial art to the peak. He used his true chi to drag Li Fan's body and forcefully pulled him in front of him. Such powerful true qi. Li Fan pressed his hands on the ground, and the true qi in his body sank down, forcefully stabilizing his body. Oh, Wang Jian looked at Li Fan with satisfaction. It seems like you're very strong now. I remember the first time I saw you. You could only be slaughtered by others. If not for you, that girl saving you, you would have disappeared from this world. I'm no longer the little newbie from that time. Li Fan reminded Wang Jian. If you want to fight with me, you have to think about it first. You've indeed grown a lot. Wang Jian said coquettishly. The last time you fought with that old fellow Murong Bo, you've already shocked others. In such a short period of time, you've grown so much. I'm afraid it won't be long before you become a grandmaster of your generation. You don't have to worry about this. Li Fan raised his true qi. Do you want to fight, or do you want to do something? Say it. Naturally, I still want to fight. Wang Jian waved his hand. The higher-ups gave me a task. I have to do it. But I don't want you to die. I might as well cripple you, and then I can take care of you for a few days. Fine, this guy's a big pervert. Li Fan felt that he would not be able to explain it to him. Don't worry, I will be a bit lighter. If it hurts, just endure it, and it will be over. With that, Wang Jian suddenly appeared in front of Li Fan and pulled Li Fan with one hand. At such a close distance, the effect of true qi was even stronger. It was as if there was really a hand pulling Li Fan's body, bringing him forward. Humph! Li Fan coldly snorted. His true qi seemed to solidify, falling on his legs, making his body rooted to the ground, like an old tree taking root. Oh! Wang Jian was slightly surprised. He did not expect Li Fan to be able to block his true qi. Not bad. You're quite powerful. Wang Jian said, strengthened his power, and ruthlessly pulled Li Fan with both hands. Behind Wang Jian, a blurry figure suddenly appeared, like a giant. It stretched out its hands towards Li Fan and grabbed him. Wang Jian's true qi could also turn into a physical body. Although it was still a bit blurry, the power was solid. Grabbing Li Fan's shoulders, it was about to pull him over. Great War God! Great War God also popped out from behind Li Fan. He hugged his arms. The Great War God's palm danced, slapping the giant's face, pushing the giant back. Then, Great War God used Ursa Major Seal, slapping towards Wang Jian. Wang Jian stood there. The giant became more and more clear. It raised its arms, blocking the palm for Wang Jian. True qi spread out, attacking the surroundings. Li Fan took a step back. Wang Jian also took a step back. The two of them re-examined each other. I still underestimated you. Wang Jian said, in that case, I will use 80% of my strength to deal with you. With that, Wang Jian opened his arms. The entire construction site suddenly trembled. Under the control of his true qi, all the stone bricks on the surrounding buildings were pulled out. The entire building that was built on the construction site was completely demolished. All the bricks flew around and spun, forming something like a barrier. This kind of exquisite true qi control technique. Even if it was Li Fan, he might not be able to do it so smoothly. His Ruoshui 3000 could split his true qi into 3,000 strands. But these bricks, at least hundreds of thousands to millions. Wang Jian, the Brick Prince. Chapter 948. No, I can't call him the Brick Prince. I should call him the Brick Princess. Being targeted by him, it could be considered bad luck. But on the other hand, to be able to fight with such an expert, Li Fan was still a little excited. What level of expert was Wang Zue? A grandmaster of a generation. He was a genuine grandmaster of a generation, not the slightest bit of exaggeration. Although Abe Yoshio was also one, he used yin-yang techniques, which are different from martial techniques. Wang Zue suddenly made his move. He approached Li Fan, and at the same time, slapped Li Fan with his palm. When Wang Zue attacked, bricks flew over from the surroundings, smashing towards Li Fan's face. Li Fan's Great War God waved his palm, using the crane's hand to block Wang Zue's attack, and at the same time, sent the bricks flying. But there were too many bricks, and more bricks flew over, attacking Li Fan from all directions. Soon, Li Fan could not block it, and was slapped in the chest by Wang Zhe. This Wang Zue's true qi was very special. The true qi in his palm seemed to carry tens of thousands of silver needles, piercing into Li Fan's chest. Li Fan was slapped back a step, and, at the same time, his chest was in excruciating pain. The true qi directly drilled into his body, and quickly began to attack his heart along his meridians. The true qi in Li Fan's body began to counterattack, shattering the true qi that Wang Zue had sent in. Although Wang Zue's true qi was powerful, Li Fan's true qi was not weak either. With Li Fan's body as the battlefield, Wang Zue's true qi was defeated bit by bit, and finally, it was completely destroyed in Li Fan's meridians. This matter seemed to take a long time, but in fact it happened in an instant. Li Fan dissolved the true qi, suddenly put away the great war god, transformed into the golden armor, and directly slapped forward, slapping towards Wang Zue's cheek. But at this moment, the surrounding bricks seemed to be pulled, and automatically flew over, forming a wall in front of Wang Zue, blocking Li Fan's palm. Bam! The walls were smashed and broken stones flew everywhere, but Wang Zong was safe and sound. More bricks flew over and formed a ball around Li Fan, wrapping him inside. You want to scare me with such insignificant tricks? Li Fan snorted coldly. He stretched out his hand and grabbed the extraordinary sword. With the posture of the saber drawing technique, he quickly unsheathed the sword. Puff! The ball was directly cut in half, but Wang Zong also disappeared from Li Fan's sight. No one knew where he went. Above Li Fan's head, the bricks formed a huge pagoda and smashed down on Li Fan's head. Dragon spitting pearl. Li Fan faced the pagoda, falling from the sky, and released a true qi bomb. When the oval-shaped true qi bullet hit the top of the pagoda, the bottom of the pagoda was directly squashed askew. Next, the entire pagoda began to tear apart. Li Fan took the opportunity to aim at Wang Zong. Holding the sword, he used the sword drawing technique. This sword drawing technique was naturally learned from Abe Haruko's saber drawing technique. Li Fan did not seem to move, but Wang Zong suddenly moved to the side. The front of his chest was cut open, revealing the muscles inside. "Oh, so you like this kind of stuff? You should have said so earlier," said your sister. Li Fan threw the extraordinary sword out. The extraordinary sword flew above Wang Zhang's head. God slaying. A black lightning bolt immediately fell down, striking towards Wang Zong below. Wang Zong piled the bricks on top of his head, forming one shield after another. However, the black lightning bolt continued to split the shield and soon arrived above Wang Zhang's head. Wang Zong stretched out both of his hands and used his true qi to forcibly control the lightning bolt before sending it to the side. Boom! The black lightning bolt finally struck a tree at the side, directly turning the towering ancient tree into charcoal. God slaying? Wang Zong could not help but praise. I have heard of it. Now that I have seen it with my own eyes, it is indeed powerful. Thank you for your praise. The true qi on Li Fan's body surged. The good guy card in his pocket was constantly trembling, as if it would fly out at any time. Wang Zong, the warm-up is over. Let's have a good fight. All right. Wang Zong stretched out his hand. The surrounding bricks were all crushed by him, turning into small stones. They flew up and hovered around him like a satellite ring. With a casual hook, some of the gravel immediately flew out, forming a long blade and fell into his hand. My genie guards, in addition to the small phaseless divine exercise, also has the phaseless saber technique. I will let you experience it. With that, Wang Zhang's figure flashed. Almost in an instant, he appeared beside Li Fan. Li Fan was about to make a move, but was pulled by Wang Zhang's true qi, causing him to deviate. At the same time, Wang Zhang's stone blade had already been lifted up, slashing towards Li Fan's neck. Li Fan's right hand immediately flicked out his true qi, forming a wave of qi that impacted on Wang Zhang's stone blade, bouncing it off. But Wang Zhang's body turned around. Unexpectedly, with the power of Li Fan, He made a roundhouse chop and abruptly chopped back. This blade contained his own power. Li Fan did not dare to block it head-on. Activating his true chi field, Li Fan dragged his body and in the blink of an eye, left Wang Zhang's attack range. Huh? Wang Zhang was a little surprised. Your true chi is very ingenious. Is that so? Wang Zhang said. His whole body, like a ghost, suddenly moved in front of Li Fan. Damn, Li Fan wanted to curse. How come he and Imperial concubine Zhou were the same? Both of them instantly learned his true chi field. This group of big shots who played with true chi was really annoying. But Li Fan wanted to let them know that playing with true chi was useless. Both internal and external cultivation was the real way of the king. Li Fan took a deep breath and then touched his good guy card. Activating the good guy card, Li Fan did not intend to be seen through. Once he was seen through, it was very likely that the moment he integrated the good guy card, it would be destroyed by the other party. The trump card's ultimate move must not be seen through by others. In a flash, Li Fan put on a golden armor, and the true chi in his body also rose to a new height. Wang Zhang, with the stone blade in his hand, once again arrived in front of Li Fan. He stretched out his left hand and used his true chi to pull Li Fan. But this time, when his true chi acted on Li Fan's body, he was unable to pull Li Fan. Looking at Li Fan, he took the initiative to step forward. His feet stepped on the bow step and directly hit Wang Zhang's lower abdomen before he could move his blade. Puff! Wang Zhang used his true chi to protect his lower abdomen, but his true chi was directly penetrated and a wave of chi exploded from his back. Wang Zhang's body was blown away, and in the blink of an eye, he fell down and smashed into the ground, creating a deep pit. Dragon Spitting Pearl. Li Fan faced Wang Zhang, who was in the deep pit, and pushed a true chi ball with both hands into the pit. Boom! The pit was directly detonated, and billowing black smoke rose to the sky. But Li Fan believed that this guy would not die so easily. Chapter 949. Li Fan continued to step on the cloud ladder, rising and falling in the air. At the same time, his hands kept pushing out the dragon, spitting pearls. One after another, the pearls flew into the pit and detonated inside. Black smoke kept rising into the sky, rolling up as if a missile was bombing. Zhou Tai hid in the distance, watching all this, silently lighting a cigarette. Martial fighters were too terrifying. Their existence had already exceeded the control of the country. Is it really okay to just watch like this? The driver sitting in the front couldn't help but ask. I also have no choice. Zhou Tai lowered his head to smoke, his hands slightly trembling. No one can control these martial fighters. Sooner or later, they will become a thorn in the government's eyes, a thorn in the flesh, and will definitely be removed. Zhou Tai's expression became more and more serious. The government will not allow their existence. This time, it is the beginning of the Holy War. The Holy War plan? I didn't expect it to really start. The driver pondered for a moment, and his expression turned solemn. And while they were talking, Li Fan had already stopped the attack of the Qigong ball, landing on a concrete steel bar, standing on ground. The rolling black smoke slowly dispersed. Wang Fan's figure was a little embarrassed, but still stood there. He was combing his hair, as if this hair was more important than anything else. Today, I specially made my hair to see you, and it was almost messed up. Wang Fan tidied his hair while looking at Li Fan. Li Fan, you have become stronger and stronger. Everything is as I expected. A grandmaster, you have already stepped into this realm, but you have always had a fatal flaw. Wang Fan's words made Li Fan frown. Do you think this is the extent of my power? Li Fan's voice was cold, but Wang Fan smiled. Maybe you are stronger, but in this world, there will always be people stronger than you. Li Fan, you and Imperial concubine Zhou are two very special people, but it doesn't mean that there are only two of you in this world. In the Genie Guard, that lord, his strength has surpassed everything. That lord, who is he? Li Fan asked. Liao Wushuang's father. Wang Zai simply said, his existence will become everyone's nightmare. No matter how you struggle, sooner or later, he will rule the world. Sai, you fanatics. Li Fan stood on the steel bar and looked down at Wang Zheng. One moment, Lord Liao. The next moment, cult leader Li. It's endless. You don't understand how powerful that lord is. Wang Zheng reminded Li Fan. Your fatal weakness will kill you sooner or later. Li Fan, you should let go of everything and come with me. I will make you stronger. You might even be able to rival that lord. Aren't you his loyal dog? You actually want to raise me to be like him? Li Fan was a little surprised. Although that lord is powerful, he doesn't agree with me. Wang Jian stared at Li Fan. Only you, Li Fan. You are the most special person to me. Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not gay. As Li Fan spoke, his body appeared in front of Wang Zheng. At the same time, he raised his hand and slapped Wang Zheng's chest with a Qilin palm. It's useless, you can't win. Before Wang Zheng finished speaking, Li Fan's body suddenly turned red and white smoke billowed out. A golden ring condensed behind Li Fan, and his Qilin palm firmly imprinted on Wang Zheng's chest. It was as if a real ice and fire Qilin roared in the air. Li Fan's left arm completely turned into a Qilin's arm. Boom! A streak of frost and a streak of flame burst out from Wang Zheng's back, spinning and rushing out. Wang Zheng's body was blown away in the blink of an eye. Like a cannonball, he was shot 100 meters away and finally crashed into the distant forest. Bang, bang, bang. The trees in the forest were constantly broken. In the end, Wang Zheng smashed into the ground, leaving a huge pit there. The surrounding ground was also lifted up, and many trees were uprooted. Seeing this scene, the cigarette in Zhou Tai's hand fell onto his pants. Too terrifying, this kind of existence. The government indeed could not tolerate it. Let's go, Zhou Tai said to the driver. Wang Zheng failed. The holy war has completely begun. The driver stepped on the accelerator, and the car drove towards the city. Li Fan had already dispelled his status. Using his qigong, he came to the top of the forest. This part of the forest was already in a mess, as if a hurricane had passed through. Wang Zheng was lying in a deep pit. This time his body was covered in blood, and his body was motionless. Obviously, his injuries were not light. Wang Zheng, go back and tell that whatever lord, don't provoke me. Otherwise, your current state will be his outcome. He glanced at Wang Zheng again. Seeing that you helped me once, I'll spare your dog life. We'll never meet again. With that, Li Fan's figure flashed and quickly disappeared from Wang Zheng's sight. Sigh, what an enemy. Wang Zheng coughed out a mouthful of blood. Lying in the deep pit, he felt that all the bones in his body were a little scattered. It would be difficult for him to climb out of this pit in a short period of time. At this moment, a figure walked to his side and looked down at him. You're here. Wang Zheng looked at this person and coughed twice. Blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. You failed. The person who came was none other than Yushi. She squatted down and looked at Wang Zheng. Lord thinks so highly of you, but you still failed to bring him back. What? Could it be that if it was you, you would be able to bring him back? Wang Zheng asked bluntly. My mission is to protect him. Yushi looked at Wang Zheng. Your mission is to guide him back. Now that you've failed, Lord will send people to find him again. I think Lord can reconsider. Wang Zheng said, this guy, his strength has already far exceeded our expectations. It's very difficult to control. You don't need to worry about that. Lord has his own plans. Yushi sighed. You're such a disappointment, King. And just let me die here. You can't die yet. Yushi took out a pill and stuffed it into Wang Zheng's mouth. Your dog life still needs to be used by Lord. I am willing to offer everything to Lord. Wang Zheng muttered to himself. A warm current appeared in his body and started to heal his body. But at this time, his body started to shake. Wang Zheng sensed the change in his body in shock. This is gold immortal goo. Yushi said, Lord has also given this gold immortal goo to you. Gold immortal goo will give you different strength according to your attributes. Feel your new strength well, and then offer your life for his excellency. Could it be the sacred war has started? Yes. Chapter 950. It's hot over there. Bring more dehumidification medicine. Bring more fruits, lest you get thirsty. How about I accompany you there? What will you do if no one takes care of you there? At the airport, Xia, Yi, and the others came to see him off. Little senior's sister kept nagging in the waiting hall, worrying about Li Fan. Don't worry, little senior's sister. I'll live in a dormitory there. I'll take care of myself. Li Fan comforted Xia, Yi. You can also rent a house and live together. I've read the rules and regulations. Freshmen can't live outside. Li Fan hurriedly said, Don't worry. I'm already a grown-up. How can I not take care of myself? Then will you come back on the 11th? I don't think so. On the 11th, we just finished military training a few days ago. I'll have 2 days off. I should familiarize myself with the surroundings. Li Fan continued to coax little senior sister. Little senior sister, stay here and help me take care of the escort agency. When I settle down there, I'll come back to see you often. At that time, I might need little senior sister to help me take care of the martial arts school. Don't worry about the escort agency. I received news from old one a few days ago. He'll be back soon. Yin Kai patted Li Fan's shoulder. Don't forget that your home is here. Of course I won't forget. Look at you guys. It's like I'm going to roam the world. Li Fan laughed out loud. I'm just going to go to university. Which student doesn't want to go to university? Got it. I won't nag you anymore, lest you get upset. Take care of yourself on the way. Contact us if you need anything. And I got it. Li Fan nodded, then subconsciously looked around. Then I'll go first. You guys stay. We'll meet again during the winter break. Li Fan was a little disappointed. He waved his hand and left. Is Lin Yuhsn still not here? After Li Fan left, Xia Yi turned around and asked in a low voice. No, I don't think she would dare to come. Yang Shuei sighed softly. It must be very sad. I understand the pain of having to leave. And let's not talk about this anymore. Tell me, when is a suitable time for me to visit little junior brother? Yang Shuei looked at Xia Yin speechlessly. Why don't you put him in your pocket? Sai, it might work. I'll ask by Lin Luo if there's such a superpower. Or it could be any door. We can open one between our agency and Li Fan's dormitory. That way, he can come back as soon as he pushes the door open. If there's such a thing, didn't our escort agency already use it on Li Jiadao? That's true. Yang Shuei was about to give in to Xia Yi. This woman might not be able to survive without Li Fan. Just as she was about to say a few more words, she suddenly turned her head, as if she had seen someone. Yang Shuei rubbed her eyes, but the figure had already disappeared. Was he seeing things? Yang Shuei shook her head, turned around, and left the airport with Xia Yin and the others. In the corner of the airport, Murong Ying, wearing a black cheongsam, stood there without saying a word. She silently watched Li Fan's figure disappear the passage, and then she left. City G, I'm coming. Li Fan was still a little excited. After boarding the plane, he couldn't calm down. Everyone was full of expectations for their university, especially Li Fan, who had been tired of his high school life. Moreover, he was going to open his own martial arts club in City G. It was full of challenges, and he was looking forward to it. Miss, please make way. This is my seat. After boarding the plane, Li Fan found that his seat was already occupied by someone. The girl was wearing sunglasses and a blue cap. Her hair was tied into a ponytail. She was looking down at the iPad and didn't pay attention to Li Fan at all. Miss, Li Fan slightly lost his patience. Was she pretending to be deaf? Although Li Fan was a little stingy and didn't want to spend money, Xia Yin still booked a first-class cabin for him. In Xia Yan's words, as a golden escort of Fifan Escort Agency, how could he take the economy class on this trip? Li Fan was more or less extravagant, but he didn't expect that he would encounter a special situation in the first-class cabin. Sir, what's wrong? The first-class stewardess was generally more beautiful. Seeing the situation, she hurried to ask. My seat is occupied. Li Fan pointed at his ticket and then at the seat mark above his head. Miss, could you please make way? You're sitting in the wrong seat. The stewardess said to the girl. The girl seemed to be a little impatient, and she shouted. Jessica! Hearing this shout, a woman in her 30s hurried over, holding her luggage. My lady, what's wrong? I'm putting down my luggage. It's too much. Jessica! What happened to the charter flight? Why is there someone else here? The girl questioned the woman called Jessica in fluent English. What's going on? Is the company making fun of me again? I'm telling you, Jessica, my contract is about to expire. If this goes on, we can forget about renewing it. I'll help you solve it. I'll help you solve it, Jessica said to Li Fan while wiping her sweat. Sir, I'm sorry. How about this? I'll pay for your ticket. Could you please take the business class seat at the back? My lady doesn't like to be disturbed. She doesn't like to be disturbed, so she'll take the private jet. Li Fan was annoyed. Although this girl was speaking in English, his English was passable and he understood most of it. My seat is mine. No one else has the right to sit in it. Tell this idiot that I can sit wherever I want. The girl looked at the iPad while telling Jessica in English. Jessica was stunned. Then she put on a smile and said to Li Fan, I'm sorry. She's not feeling well, so get lost now. This is my seat. Li Fan no longer paid attention to Jessica. Instead, he turned his head and shouted at the girl in English. Motherfucker, in City A, I can almost do whatever I want. How could I meet such a person on a plane? What a bad start. Li Fan really wanted to curse at this moment. If the other party wasn't a woman, he would have thrown her out long ago. The girl finally raised her head and looked at Li Fan. What can you do? Hit me? She was still speaking in English and said to Li Fan rudely, a man like you is actually making things difficult for a girl. You're really shameless. Oh my fuck, she's even making a false accusation. Li Fan was so angry that his nose almost became crooked. Chapter 9:51. Woman, you're just making false accusations. Why would I make false accusations? You're a man. It's your honor to have a beautiful lady sit in your seat. The girl continued to ridicule Li Fan. There are so many seats in the back. You can just choose one. What's more, my assistant will compensate you. Just take the money and get the hell out of here. Do you think you're so great to make things difficult for a girl here? Fuck. Li Fan was actually speechless by the question. What a robber's logic. Even if you say so much, you can't change the fact that I bought this seat. Li Fan decided to ignore the woman's words and went back to his seat. But this girl seemed to have the same idea as Li Fan. She completely abided by the principle of not leaving, not giving up her seat, and not ignoring him. She continued to look down at her iPad. Sir, I think it's better this way. Both of them were first-class passengers, so the stewardess was also in a difficult position. She looked at Li Fan and said embarrassedly, there are no other passengers in the first-class cabin besides the two of you. Why don't you choose another seat first? I'm really sorry for the trouble I've caused you. Li Fan swallowed his anger. If this went on, the plane would not be able to take off. Okay, then I'll change my seat. Li Fan did not want to lower himself to this woman's level. He directly chose the seat on the left by the window and sat down. No. The ponytail girl was unhappy and shouted at Li Fan, I'll book this first-class cabin. You're not allowed to sit here. Go to the business class in the back. Psycho. Li Fan snorted coldly and leaned back in his chair, completely ignoring the ponytail girl. Are you a man or not? Why don't you leave? The ponytail girl angrily looked at Li Fan. Why should I leave? I paid for the first-class cabin. Why do you have to let me sit in the business class in the back? Li Fan looked at the ponytail girl with a smile. Do you think the airline belongs to your family? Even if it's your family's business, you don't have the right to ask me to change seats since I've paid for the first-class ticket. Be content. I've already given you enough face. Don't push your luck. Jessica began to persuade him again. My little ancestor, let's make do with it. Anyway, there is no one else in the first-class cabin. Please bear with it for a while. We will arrive at City G soon. This lady is magnanimous and can't be bothered to stoop to the level of this scoundrel. As the ponytail girl spoke, she lowered her head again and began to look at the iPad. Li Fan was also convinced. This woman was too unreasonable. What kind of person was she? Li Fan really couldn't be bothered with this kind of woman. He put down the back of the chair, leaned on it, put on his blindfold, and began to doze off. It would take about 4 hours to fly from City A to City G. He just needed to take a nap And when he woke up, he would arrive at his destination. The air stinks. As the plane took off, the ponytail girl suddenly muttered, "This bastard company made me stay with a stinky man. Let's just cancel the contract." Hey, have you had enough? Li Fan really couldn't bear it anymore. This woman was so arrogant. He took off his blindfold, looked at the ponytail girl next to him, and said to her, "Haven't you learned how to be polite? What's barking? It's so noisy." The ponytail girl rolled her eyes and put on her earphones. "Well, the world is much quieter now, and the dogs don't bark anymore." Idiot! Li Fan gave the ponytail girl a middle finger. This kind of woman really deserved to be beaten. Today was really a bad day. He hoped that everything would go well in City G. Li Fan leaned back in the chair again, put on his blindfold, and was ready to sleep. This guy, I don't know where he stole the money to sit in the first-class cabin. He's just a stinky loser, but he still wants to pretend to be a local tycoon. Tut tut. Fuck. Li Fan took off his blindfold again, but the ponytail girl called the stewardess, asked her for water, and didn't even look at Li Fan. Li Fan was angry. He put the blindfold back, trying to enter the state of emptiness. Staying with a moron has ruined my mood. The woman was nagging again. This time, Li Fan didn't even bother to pay attention to her. She could say whatever she wanted. He just took it as a dog barking. This kind of woman was so annoying. Sooner or later, he would be beaten to death. She deliberately kept mocking him, trying to make him leave. But Li Fan was not an ordinary person. He lay in the chair and soon entered the state of meditation, and all the noises around him were far away at this moment. Li Fan came to his visualization world again, looking at the black and white world. The golden dragon god general and the black seven devils were still in their own territory, looking at each other opposite. Neither of them dared to invade the other's territory, because once they entered the other's territory, they would be at a disadvantage. The two forces reached a balance in Li Fan's body. It's much more comfortable here. Li Fan sat in his sea of mind, feeling the calmness of his sea of mind. He felt much more at ease. The visualization world passed quickly. It wouldn't take long for Li Fan to arrive in City G. G University was still waiting for him. The wonderful university life was waving at him. Keep a happy mood. Li Fan comforted himself, and then slowly entered the state of cultivation. The ponytail girl scolded him a few more times. Seeing that Li Fan completely ignored her and even snored slightly, she became even more unhappy. This man, he actually fell asleep? Damn it. He slept comfortably, but I'm not happy. With a strange man here, the ponytail girl felt uncomfortable in all kinds of ways. She covered her face with a blanket, feeling upset in all kinds of ways. Irritating, it's really too irritating. The ponytail girl was used to sleeping on the plane, but she didn't fall asleep this time. She spent 4 hours with her eyes open. Li Fan felt the plane tremble, and then he woke up. He glanced at the plane, which was taxiing on the runway. The ponytail girl sitting next to him was staring at him, which made Li Fan feel a little scared. What are you looking at? Who's looking at you? You think too highly of yourself. The girl scolded him and then asked again, "Did you sleep well?" "Quite well." "Who's talking to you?" "You're crazy." "You're crazy." Li Fan was completely convinced. This woman must be crazy. Damn it. I'm so unlucky today. How did I meet you? Li Fan was so angry that the good mood he had just fallen asleep was gone. Seeing that Li Fan was unhappy, the ponytail girl laughed again. Alas, I'm in a much better mood. Idiot. Li Fan picked up his luggage and decided to part ways with this crazy woman. She should go to see a doctor. Chapter 952. Li Fan carried his luggage, got off the plane, and got into the VIP car. The plane didn't stop at the terminal, so it would take him a while to get there. In this case, the passengers on the plane had to take the ferry to the terminal, while the first-class passengers could take the luxurious VIP car and leave first. Li Fan got into the VIP car. The driver sat in the front seat, and a man in a black leather jacket sat in the passenger seat. Why are there other passengers in this car? Li Fan felt a little strange. Soon, the ponytail girl also got into the car, followed by Jessica, who carried her luggage. As soon as the ponytail girl got into the car, she looked at Li Fan and frowned. What bad luck. Why did I meet a moron again? Li Fan didn't want to talk. If he quarreled with this girl, it would show that he was very unrestrained. She can say whatever she wants. I'll just treat it as a dog barking. Hurry up and drive. I don't want to stay here a minute longer. The ponytail girl urged drive. Okay. There were no other first-class passengers except them. The driver closed the door and started the car. Huh? Jessica was a little surprised. The ponytail girl glared at her. What's wrong with you? Why are you so nosy? No. I'm just wondering why the stewardess in charge of us left before she got in the car. It was not the first time that Jessica took a plane, so she had a lot of experience. At this time, the man in the jacket sitting in the passenger seat turned around, holding a pistol in his hand, and aimed at the ponytail girl. Welcome, big shot, Shun. Who are you? The ponytail girl was stunned, but Jessica was still calm. She plucked up her courage and asked the man in the jacket. Boss Ma sent me here. The man in the jacket said with a smile, Mr. Shun, last time you refused our boss Ma, and he was very sad. So when he heard that you came to City G, he specially asked me to pick you up. I'm not like you, who dare to refuse Boss Ma's words. So I can pick you up immediately. Let Boss Ma eat shit. The ponytail girl panicked and blurted out in English, I will never agree to it. Mr. Shun, speak human language. Your Boss Ma's conditions are too harsh. It's impossible for us to agree, Jessica said. You too. Can't you see the thing in my hand? Whether this matter succeeds or not is not up to you to decide. Of course, it's not up to me to decide. You have to listen to Boss Ma. Gentlemen, if you have any grudges, you can settle them yourselves. Li Fan couldn't help but say, I still have to rush to the university to report. Can you let me get off the car? Kid, you're unlucky today. The man in the jacket glanced at Li Fan and laughed coldly. I heard that there was no one else in the first-class cabin except for Shindawan. I didn't expect someone like you to suddenly appear. It doesn't matter if there's one more or one less. Come with us. You bastard. The ponytail girl scolded Li Fan in English. Shouldn't you help me? Why should I help you? I'm not obliged to. Li Fan shrugged his shoulders. Besides, can't you see that he has a gun in his hand? You're a useless man. Do you think a gun can scare you away? If you're not useless, why don't you go? I'm a woman. You don't look like a woman. You're a shrew. Bastard, you're a shrew. I'm a man. Bang. The man in the jacket finally couldn't take it anymore. He raised his hand and fired a shot at the roof of the car. The bullet pierced through the roof and flew into the air. The girl with the ponytail quivered in fear, and Jessica quickly covered her mouth from behind. Li Fan didn't say anything and pretended to be afraid. You two, do you think I don't exist? The man in the jacket scolded. If you make any more noise, I'll kill you. You don't dare to kill me. The ponytail girl calmed down and said, Boss Ma needs me, so you don't dare to shoot me. That's right. You're right. The man in the jacket gave a thumbs up. I really don't dare to kill you. But Boss Ma needs your face, not your feet. If you piss me off, I can blow your feet off. The ponytail girl didn't dare to say anything. Li Fan listened silently from the side. What the hell is this, Boss Ma? Li Fan looked at the time. It was 12 o'clock in the morning. The reporting time was before 5 o'clock in the afternoon. He still had some time. However, if he let them do as they pleased, he was afraid that he wouldn't have enough time. Bro, can you let me eat first? Li Fan was a little hungry. He only slept on the plane and didn't eat anything. I haven't eaten anything all day. Even if it's a kidnapping, you should at least let me eat my fill, right? You're so fucking troublesome. The man in the jacket pointed his gun at Li Fan. How about eating a bullet? Can you be full? You're not very polite. Li Fan sighed. I had nothing to do with this. Now you're not even letting me eat. That's too much. I think you're tired of living. The man in the jacket was sitting in front of Li Fan. He pressed the muzzle of his gun against Li Fan's forehead. But at that moment, Li Fan's hand suddenly grabbed the man in the jacket's gun. With a press of his hand, the magazine was removed. At the same time, he pushed the man in the jacket. The man in the jacket fired. The only bullet hit the leg of the driver next to him. The driver screamed in pain and subconsciously stepped on the brakes. The car spun and skidded. Finally, the front of the car crashed into a ferry in front. The man in the jacket was thrown out. His head smashed through the windshield and crashed into the ferry opposite. He immediately fainted. The driver also crashed into the steering wheel and fainted. The girl with the ponytail and Jessica were sitting in the back. Although they were thrown out, they were not seriously injured. Li Fan was unscathed. He clapped his hands and stood up. You guys settle the rest. The airport police are here. Li Fan saw an airport security car driving over from afar. The gunshots and the crash had probably attracted them. We'll never meet again, idiot woman. After saying that, Li Fan pushed open the door and got out of the bus. He thought to himself, I've finally gotten rid of this woman. I probably won't see her again. Li Fan quickly returned to the airport and followed the road to the exit. Outside the airport, there were many people waiting to pick him up. A young man stood there. He was wearing a checkered shirt and holding a sign in his hand. G University Student Union. He finally found the organization. Li Fan pulled his suitcase and walked towards him. Chapter 953. Hey, are you a student of G University? The boy asked subconsciously as he saw Li Fan walking towards him. Yes, I'm Li Fan, majoring in English as a foreign language from the Chinese department. Li Fan signed up for English as a foreign language. He felt that his English level could be improved. The reason why he didn't go directly to the English department was that his English level was still a bit lacking. Moreover, English as a foreign language basically meant that he had been a Chinese teacher before. Li Fan's idea was very good. He wanted to open a martial arts school abroad in the future and spread Huaxia Kung Fu all over the country. When facing a group of foreigners, learning Mandarin as a foreign language was better than learning English directly. Because many martial arts moves needed to be taught in Mandarin, it was better to let those foreigners learn some Mandarin for martial arts from him. You're right, take this sign. The boy handed a red sign to Li Fan with the logo of G University printed on it. Take this and follow this exit to the outside. Our school's student union is waiting there. Show them this, and they'll arrange for you. Okay, thank you, senior. Don't mention it. Hurry up and go. You can catch the bus in time. The boy patted Li Fan's shoulder. I still have to continue picking up people. I'll probably be busy until night, so I can't take care of you. Thank you, senior. I'm leaving. Li Fan politely said goodbye to the senior, but the senior suddenly pulled Li Fan and asked him in a low voice. Hey, by the way, have you seen Shin-Shun? Shin-Shun? Who's that? Li Fan was puzzled. It was the first time he heard this name. What the fuck? You don't even know Shin-Shun. The senior looked at Li Fan as if he was looking at an alien. Big star Shin-Shun, a big singer from Supergirl. I really like her. I heard that she's also coming to G City at about the same time as you. I thought the two of you would be on the same flight. Do you see that group of people over there? They're all her fans. Li Fan followed his senior's hand and looked to the side. Good heavens, there were at least thousands of good people. Everyone's faces were filled with anticipation. They held banners in their hands and wore T-shirts with Shun Chen's name printed on them, waiting for their idol to appear. Such a big star, if he were to come, he would definitely take a private jet. Li Fan said, how could he take the same plane as me? That's true. All right, hurry up and report. The senior also dispelled his own wild thoughts and continued to hold the sign and wait for people. Li Fan dragged his luggage and held the red tag in his hand. He followed the senior's guidance and walked out of the airport. A bus with G University's name printed on it was parked there. A few students set up umbrellas and sat next to the car. Under the umbrella was a folding table covered with a white tablecloth. The tablecloth also had the G University logo printed on it. At this moment, Li Fan felt quite honored. He was proud to be a student of G University. In the future, he would be a university student. The child had finally grown up. A girl in a white shirt sat in front of the office desk. She had shoulder-length hair. She looked quite pretty and had a bit of an artistic aura. There were a few guys around her. They were all surrounding her, fanning her, and giving her water. They were very attentive. Li Fan said that the treatment of beautiful girls was indeed different. Student, which faculty are you from? After Li Fan walked over, the girl raised her head and glanced at Li Fan. Then, she took out a form. Hello, senior. I'm from the Chinese faculty, majoring in Mandarin as a foreign language. My name is Li Fan. Li Fan was very polite. There was no harm in being polite to his seniors in university. He heard that many universities had the habit of rushing to bed. This was a way to discipline their juniors. They would suddenly barge into their dormitory at night and let these new students know the university's rules. It seemed that G University also had such a rule. Li Fan didn't want to cause trouble when he came to university. Therefore, he kept his place and was cautious. Mandarin as a foreign language. You're from the same major as me. The girl smiled sweetly. Li Fan could be considered as someone who had experienced great storms. At this moment, he couldn't help but take a few more glances at the girl. My name is Lu Wan. If there's anything in the future, you can look for me. I also know Mandarin as a foreign language. I'm a senior. If there's anything in the future, I'll take care of him. There's no need to trouble you. That's right. You're the head of the publicity department. You have a lot of things to do. Just leave it to me. A group of guys clamored to take care of Li Fan. Li Fan wondered why the seniors in this university were so enthusiastic. Come, junior. I'll help you carry your bag. I'll help you lead the way. A group of seniors surrounded Li Fan and escorted him to the bus. Li Fan was still a little confused. What was going on? After these seniors escorted Li Fan to the bus, they ignored him and ran back to fawn over Lu Wan. All right. Li Fan originally wanted to ask if there was anything to eat nearby, but now it seemed that it wasn't convenient. Li Fan sat on a bus. After waiting for half an hour, his stomach finally growled. This wouldn't do. He would starve to death. Li Fan got off the bus and asked, Senior, when are we leaving? If there's still some time, I want to go eat something. It'll probably take another hour or so before the bus leaves. Lu Wan looked at her phone. You haven't eaten yet, right? How about this? Chen Yi, help me keep an eye on him. I'll bring Junior to eat something. I'll go. Yeah. I'll bring him. A group of guys volunteered again. They even tried to push Li Fan away. Lu Wan seemed to be a little angry and scolded them. You guys, that's enough. I'm also a little hungry. Can't I eat with my junior? Fine. You have the biggest breasts. You have the final say. Xiaowan, don't be angry. We'll help you keep an eye on him. Hurry up and eat. Only then did the boys cower. Lu Wan harumphed. Then, she turned around and looked at Li Fan, revealing a smile. Junior, let's go. There's a fast food restaurant nearby. It's not bad. All right, I've caused trouble for Senior. Don't mention it. Lu Wan was especially gentle. When I first came to school, there was also a senior who took care of me. He's very nice. Senior, did he really take care of you because he's a nice person? Li Fan looked at the pure and beautiful senior and didn't know what to say. Those guys just now, don't mind them. They're just a little too enthusiastic. Lu Wan talked about those guys as they walked. I heard they even formed a personal guard or something. Strange, but they're not bad. We're all schoolmates. Let's take care of each other and understand each other. Yes, of course. We're here. This is it. Lu Wan pointed at a real kung fu restaurant in front. I don't know if you can get used to it. It won't be a problem. Li Fan didn't know that his troubles had just begun. Chapter 9:54. There were a lot of things in the fast food restaurant that Li Fan had never seen before. He saw something called steamed rice noodles, which looked like noodles, so he ordered 1 and 2 buns. In front of his senior, Li Fan was a little embarrassed to eat too much. Otherwise, with his appetite, he would probably scare Lu Wan. You're eating so little. Lu Wan looked at Li Fan coming back with a small meal and could not help but be surprised. Aren't you hungry? Well, I'm still not used to the southern cuisine. Li Fan was telling the truth. He still did not know what was to his liking and what was not. Li Fan did not want to waste food, so he just randomly ordered some to eat. Where are you from, Junior? I can't tell from your accent. Li Fan's accent was quite standard. It was rare to hear that he had a northeastern accent. I'm from the Northeast, a city. No wonder. Lu Wan nodded. You might have to adapt to these things for a while. The southern cuisine is not the same as the northern cuisine. I have a classmate who is also from the Northeast. He said that most of the cuisines there are oily, but the Southern cuisine is more exquisite. If you carefully taste it, it is actually quite delicious. Looks like I have to adapt for a while. Li Fan shrugged his shoulders and continued to attack his steamed rice noodles. When you're here, I recommend you to try the rice noodle roll. It's quite delicious. Also, there's a fried rice noodle shop at the school gate. It's also very delicious. I think even the students from the Northeast will like this taste. Okay, senior. I will definitely try it. Li Fan ate some steamed rice noodles and felt that it was quite good. Although it was different from noodles, it had a different taste. Just as they lowered their heads to eat, a girl with big sunglasses lowered her head and pushed the door open from the outside. And outside, a large group of people rushed past, as if they were chasing after someone. The girl secretly glanced at them. Seeing that she was not discovered, she stroked her chest and sighed in relief. When Li Fan saw this girl, he immediately frowned. As the saying goes, enemies are bound to meet on a narrow road. This was not a lie. The girl happened to turn her head and saw Li Fan. The two of them spoke almost at the same time. Why are you here? Chun. Little Chun? Why are you here? You two know each other? Lu Wanner also recognized this girl and even called out her name. Lil Wan? The ponytail girl looked around carefully. Seeing that no one in the room recognized her, she walked over, pulled out a chair, and sat next to Lu Wanner. What's wrong with you? You look like you're fleeing from a famine. Lu Wanner had yet to drink her cola, so she pushed it to the ponytail girl. The ponytail girl looked at the cola and swallowed her saliva. After some hesitation, she pushed it back. No. It's too high in calories. Your life is so hard now that you can't even drink Coke. Well, I have no choice, or else I won't be able to maintain my figure. After the ponytail girl finished speaking, she glared at Li Fan fiercely. Why are you here, you bastard? Woman, do you like to quarrel? Li Fan was also quite unhappy. His luck was so bad that he actually met this girl again. Are you two friends? Who's friends with him? The two of them spoke almost at the same time. Lu Wanner burst out laughing. You two are so compatible. Who's compatible with him? They spoke at the same time again, and then the two of them glared at each other angrily. It had to be said that the ponytail girl's eyes were really big. They seemed to be bigger than any girl he knew. Okay, you two don't quarrel. We're all schoolmates. Why bother quarreling? Schoolmates. Li Fan and the ponytail girl widened their eyes at the same time. They couldn't believe what they had heard. Him? The ponytail girl pointed at Li Fan. Oh my God, do you have to be so unlucky? Shouldn't I say that? Li Fan was particularly unhappy. Since I met you, nothing good has happened. It's obviously me on your side. The ponytail girl fiercely glared at Li Fan, as if Li Fan was really her unlucky star. Fuck, I'm wronged. Li Fan was so angry that he couldn't help but curse. Before I met you, I was still fine. It's definitely because of your bad temper that you've offended too many people, and now you're being punished by God. Nonsense. God wouldn't be willing to punish a beauty like me. The two of them confronted each other with equal harshness, neither giving in to the other. Lu Wanner had seen enough of a joke. She quickly reached out and stopped the two of them. Okay, stop quarreling. You don't even know each other. How can you quarrel so happily? Let me introduce you. This is Shun Shun, a top student in the music department in the 15th grade. This is Li Fan, our junior, and we're in the same major. Shun Shun, I seem to have heard this name. Li Fan felt that this name was a bit familiar, but he couldn't remember who said it. Humph. Shun Shun seemed to be even more unhappy, angrily looking at Li Fan. Lu Wanner was a bit surprised, looking up and down at Li Fan as if she was looking at a monster. Senior, why are you looking at me like that? You don't know Shin Shun? Isn't today the first time we've met? You don't watch TV? Don't you go online? I've been busy with my studies these days, so I really haven't watched TV online. During the holidays, Li Fan almost didn't go online as he was dealing with the matters of the escort agency. At the same time, he was also diligently practicing martial arts. Wang Zheng's appearance was considered as a reminder to Li Fan. The government had completely abandoned him. If he didn't become stronger, he would die. You must be from a cave. Shin Shin rolled her eyes. Came from a ravine. Did I offend you? That's right. Shin Shin nodded. You've offended me quite badly, and you just had to come to our school. Humph, at least something. Let me tell you, I can't deal with you outside of school, but I can make it difficult for you inside. Humph. The school is run by your family. Li Fan couldn't help but ridicule. If you want to deal with me, then I'll deal with me. At least something, don't look down on me. Shun Shun said, this lady's one call will be answered by hundreds. She even raised her hand in a dignified gesture. Suddenly, there was a noise coming from outside. Shin Shun is here. Quickly go in. Seeing the dense crowd outside, Li Fan was taken aback. What's going on? Oh no, it's over if they come in. Lu Warner frowned. Li Fan said that he had to give Lu Warner some face. He secretly reached out and used his true chi to seal the door of the restaurant. The crowd outside rushed to the door and desperately tried to push it, but found that the door couldn't be pushed open and immediately exploded. Chapter 955. Let's go. Although she did not know why the door was suddenly sealed, Lu Warner reacted quickly. She stood up, pulled Shin Shun, and ran toward the back door. Li Fan wiped his mouth, stood up, and left with them. Not long after they left the back door, the true energy on the door dissipated. The two doors were pushed down, and a group of people rushed into the restaurant. The staff was frightened, thinking that these people came to rob them, and quickly took out the phone to call the police. At the same time, Li Fan and the others had already run away from the back door. They trotted all the way and soon ran out of the restaurant. Lu Wan-er's physical strength was good, but Shin Shin could not, holding the wall and gasping. Li Fan stood next to her, hands in his pocket, and asked Shin Shin, I say, did you rob someone's things? Or, oh, a lone shark, why are there so many people chasing you? You know nothing. Shin Shin gasped a few times. They're all this lady's fans. Fans? Li Fan furrowed his brows, then suddenly understood. Oh, I remember. You're that Shin Shin. It's really strange. You have such a bad temper. What do they like about you? You bastard. Are you looking for a beating? Shin Shin angrily scolded. When we get to school, I will kill you. Senior sister, I'm so scared. Li Fan touched his chest, pretending to be afraid. When I'm scared, I like to call for help. Li Fan cleared his throat, and his voice rose an octave. Help! Shun Shin quickly pulled Li Fan and hurriedly covered his mouth with her hand. You want to die? I was just defending myself. Li Fan pulled Shun Shin's hand away. You want to kill me, but you won't let me call for help? Besides, did you wash your hands after going to the toilet and then cover my mouth? You don't wash your hands and go into the toilet. You bastard. Why are you still scolding me? Li Fan cleared his throat again. I'd better call someone over to protect me, lest you find me unpleasant and want to beat me up. Guards. Damn you. Shin Shin tried to cover Li Fan's mouth again, but Li Fan dodged it. All right. I was wrong, okay? Shin Shin endured the humiliation and actually apologized to Li Fan. Lu Warner, who was at the side, was dumbfounded. My God, how is this possible? Shin Shin, who had always been arrogant and willful, had actually apologized to someone? Am I seeing things? Or was it a dream? Lu Warner pinched her cheeks. This wasn't a dream. You're not sincere, senior sister. Li Fan looked at Shun Shan with a smile and said, What else do you want, bastard? Shun Shan was about to go crazy. Why did he encounter such a scoundrel? Shameless bastard. Senior sister, can you take care of me a little when we're in school? Li Fan had a triumphant smile on his face. You see, I've just arrived at G City and am not familiar with the people in the place. Especially when I'm in G University, and I'm just a freshman. If no one takes care of me, I'll definitely be bullied. I'll take care of you. Shun Shun gritted her teeth and said these few words. Really, senior sister? You're not lying to me? If you lie to me, you'll definitely lose fans, senior sister. Li Fan looked at Shun Shun very seriously. I'm not lying. If I lie, I'll lose fans, lose all my fans. Shin Shin raised her right hand and stretched out 3 fingers. She said this sentence word by word. but her gaze was as if she couldn't wait to eat someone up. Senior sister is so nice. Li Fan smiled. With you around, the 4 years of university life will be very interesting. 3 years. Shin Shun immediately said, I'll only tolerate you for 3 years. After 3 years, I'll graduate. Guards. Shun, I'll take care of you tenderly for 4 years, until you grow up and graduate to serve your country. Senior sister, you're so nice. I'm so touched that I'm about to cry. Li Fan said with tears in her eyes, since the atmosphere here is so warm, I don't need to call for help. Lu Won'er gave Li Fan a thumbs up, meaning that he was awesome. Both of you stop arguing. Shin Shun, put this on. Lu Won'er took out a mask from her bag and handed it to Shin Shun. God, Won'er, why didn't you give it to me earlier? Shin Shun felt like breaking down. I just remembered it. Put it on. Shin Shun took the mask and put it on her face. In this way, no one could tell who she was. That's good. Shin Shun breathed a sigh of relief. By the way, where are you going? Lu Won'er asked. I'm going back to school. I haven't been to school for a long time. The media asks me every day if I'm inflated and don't like to study, so I'm going back to school this month to put on an act. Shin Shun said impatiently. These media are so annoying. School is so boring. They just have to force me to come. You can't think like that. University is still very exciting. Lu Won'er quickly said, there are a lot of classmates and clubs. I'm not interested. I just want to stay in my villa in Los Angeles, bask in the sun, and drink wine. As for when the new album will be released, let the fans wait. The more they look forward to it, the better the album will sell. So mean. Li Fan could not help but mutter. TSK, what do you know? You're not a star, just a loser. Shin Shun curled her lips. What about taking care of me? Li Fan looked at Shun Shun with a smile. Or does Big Shot Shun want to have a street autograph event? You don't be too arrogant. Shin Shun looked at Li Fan angrily. You've been threatening me all the way here. You're not a man at all. I even saved you once, but I don't see you thanking me. Why should I be so polite to you? Li Fan shrugged his shoulders. You can't be like Shin Shun. When did you save her? Lu Won'er was a little surprised. Before she could finish, a few vans suddenly rushed out from the side. One of the vans stopped directly in front of them and opened the door. A few burly men with guns jumped out and pointed at their heads. Get in. Wait, this has nothing to do with Won'er. Shun Chin's expression changed. She pushed Lu Won'er away and grabbed Li Fan. This is my manager. You can talk to him if you have something to say. Humph. A burly man knocked Lu Won'er unconscious and then dragged Li Fan and Shun Shun into the van. Li Fan originally wanted to curse and run away. But on second thought, this matter had to be resolved, so he obediently got into the van. Big Shot Shun, you can't escape from Boss Ma's palm. A burly man said to Shun Shun, just accept your fate. Chapter 956. A group of big men sat in the van, each of them carrying a weapon in their hands. Li Fan took a look. They were all Type 54 Black Stars. He didn't know which factory produced them, but each gun was shiny. They were definitely old. People always liked to say that the Northeast was chaotic. In the past, the Northeast was indeed very chaotic. It had experienced a terrible 20 years. But the current security in the Northeast was still okay, mainly because the governance in the past few years was too strong. Nowadays, the gangs appeared in the form of groups, with both the black and the white. Moreover, the Red Dragon Society like Lu Shinan contributed a lot of GDP to the economy of a city every year. They also had to manage the matters of the lower levels and be responsible for maintaining the discipline of the lower levels. Once something went wrong, the police would investigate in the open, but they would also have to investigate in the dark. And it was said that there are several waves of very powerful underworld forces in the South. This Boss Ma's background was unknown. He could actually let everyone under him carry a Type 54 Black Star and openly rob a person on the road. Moreover, it was a popular star. It could be seen that the other party had great power. If you have anything to say to my manager, let me go. In the car, Shun Shun still tried to deceive these people. Li Fan was very speechless. This little girl was really a bit selfish. No, it shouldn't be said to be selfish. She just wanted to kill him. Miss Shun, don't fool us. Although we are not cultured, we still watch TV. A rough man was shirtless, wiping the Type 54 Black Star in his hand. His eyes were full of love, as if he was not playing with the Type 54, but his wife. This look reminded Li Fan of the devil incarnate, Wong Tofu. When he looked at his 38 styles, he also had this kind of look. This guy might be the same kind of person as the devil incarnate. Li Fan subconsciously maintained vigilance against him. We all know what kind of temper and character you have. To be honest, my wife is a fan of yours. The big man chuckled. Your fans all know your character. Your manager can't control you. Yes. Big brother, you're right. Li Fan clapped his hands. Hurry up and take her away. I've had enough. Shen looked at Li Fan angrily, but Li Fan did not care about her at all, and continued, Brothers, you see, I can't play any role. Why don't you just let me go? I'm sorry, big brother. We'll have to trouble you to come with us today. The burly man's gaze fell on Li Fan. We are a legitimate company. Since you are the manager, you must be present when Miss Shun signs the contract. Brothers, what contract? Isn't it just a matter of a word from you guys? Li Fan pointed at the 54 in the big man's hand. If I say no, won't you just kill me and bury me? Let's go, brother. The big man laughed. But it's useless to talk to me about this. When you see our boss, you can talk to him. Shun was very dissatisfied. There was fear in her eyes, but she suppressed her fear with anger. Miss Shun, no matter what, let's go and talk to Boss Ma. Don't worry, you won't be in danger. I'm here. Li Fan's words made Shun feel a little more at ease, but she did not appreciate it. She turned her head away and snorted. Li Fan was quite helpless. This woman was too arrogant. Bro, can you tell me who killed our Lao in the airport? The burly man suddenly spoke again. He raised his head, looked at Li Fan, and asked. I secretly looked at the scene. The other party's actions were clean and neat. It's not an ordinary person. There's no such person. It was your brother's gun that accidentally fired. Li Fan smiled. Look at the two of us. Other than the entertainment industry, we are very ordinary in other aspects. I know it's not you. It must be an expert. Maybe he's a retired Special Forces soldier. The big man pondered. Who is it? Is it the bodyguard that Miss Shin hired? If it is, please let me meet him. I'm very interested. The big man skillfully adjusted his 54 style. At the same time, he licked his lips. The hungry look in his eyes was self-evident. It was obvious that he was not an ordinary fighter. Humph. Shin did not want to answer this question. Although the little girl was arrogant, she was not stupid. She knew that the more she said, the more mistakes she would make. It was originally a big lie. If she said too much, it might be seen through by the other party. The reason why she tricked Li Fan into the car was because he was good at martial arts. He even saved her at noon. What happened next could only depend on fate. Xiaowan was outside. She should have woken up and called the police for them. Everything should be going according to her plan. But Boss Ma's power was too strong. Whether she could escape safely or not could only depend on fate. A few vans quickly drove into the suburbs. After a while, they arrived at an abandoned warehouse in the suburbs. This warehouse was quite big. It seemed to have been bought by someone and was left abandoned here. The two people were pushed out of the car and then escorted to the second floor of the warehouse. A boss was already sitting in the boss's chair. He was dressed very elegantly. He wore a gentleman's hat and a vest with a shirt. He also had a pipe in his mouth. Boss Ma looked short and thin, seemingly harmless to humans and animals. But the few big men beside him were not kind people. Each of them had a fierce look on their faces. They looked like they could not wait to tear Li Fan into pieces. There was also a red-haired Tibetan Mastiff lying on Boss Ma's leg. It looked like a lion. It seemed to be an extraordinary breed. It was estimated to be worth millions. The guests are here. Sit down. Boss Ma stretched out his hand. Two big men pressed Li Fan and Shun down on the chair in front of Boss Ma. The Tibetan Mastiff smelled the smell of outsiders. It immediately raised its head and roared at Li Fan. When Li Fan glared at the Tibetan Mastiff, The Tibetan Mastiff immediately shivered and lay there, becoming obedient. Boss Ma frowned and glanced at the Tibetan Mastiff. Usually when outsiders came, it was extremely fierce. It could not wait to tear them apart. It would only calm down after he reprimanded it several times. What's wrong with it today? Did it eat something wrong? Boss Ma moved his gaze away from his dog and looked at Shun Shun, whose body was slightly trembling. Big shot, Shun, I'm sorry. I invited you here today to talk about our last deal. Boss Ma tapped his pipe. I'm a businessman. What I hate the most is people who don't keep their promises. I didn't agree to your deal. Shin Shun immediately said. I won't do that even if I die. Big shot, Shun. Don't be so shameless. Chapter 9:57. A thug next to him couldn't help but curse. Boss Ma frowned. He picked up his cane from the table and pulled out a thin sword from it. He aimed it at the thug's thigh and fiercely stabbed it. Puff! The thug's thigh was pierced, but he still stood there, frowned, and didn't make sound. Did I allow you to speak? Boss Ma wiped his hands and asked the thug. After working for me for so long, haven't you learned how to be polite? I was wrong, boss. The thug bowed his head and apologized. This nearly 2 meters tall brawny man bowed his head and apologized to a less than 6 meters tall man. It looked very funny, but it could be guessed how scary this Boss Ma was. Some people were ruthless, but not because of their physique. This Boss Ma was definitely a powerful character. Well, disobedient dog, I've already taught a lesson for you. When Boss Ma turned his head and faced Shin Shun, he smiled again. Miss Shun, let's continue to talk about the contract. I'm not short of money. I won't shoot a R-rated movie. Shun Shun emphasized again, give up, Boss Ma. No matter how much money you give me, I won't do it. Miss Shun, have you ever thought about it? Boss Ma was not angry, but fiddled with his sapphire ring and slowly said, you were able to rise up that year because I recommended you. As the saying goes, don't forget the one who dug the well when you drink water. It's not good to be ungrateful, right? If Boss Ma wanted to shoot a commercial or a normal movie, I would definitely push all my schedules to come and help. But an R-rated movie is absolutely out of the question. Even if Shun Shun die, I won't do it. Young man, don't talk about death so easily. Boss Ma looked at Shin Shun. I'm also helping you, Shin Shun. How long do you think you can be popular? Can you solve the problem of your voice? I'm afraid even the most advanced medical treatment can't cure it. Hearing this, Shun Shun didn't say anything. A lot of actresses want to play this role. I don't know how many calls I receive a day. Now that the opportunity is in front of you, you have to cherish it. How long can you hide this voice of yours? Boss Ma, you don't need to worry about this. Shun Shun endured it and said, even if I can't sing, I can still shoot commercials and act in movies. I can still continue to develop. If it really doesn't work, I won't be a celebrity anymore. I'll just continue to be a student. You're still young. How can you be so pessimistic? Boss Ma reminded Shin Shun. The sponsor said that if you film this film, they will invest 1 billion yuan. Big shot, Shun. Do you know what 1 billion yuan is? Boss Ma wrote a row of zeros on the paper. There's so many zeros. So many people are willing to give up their lives for so many zeros. So, Miss Shun, you have to think it through. You're not going against me. You're going against this billion. Although I'm a gentleman, I'm willing to do anything for this 1 billion. Boss Ma, let's talk again. Li Fan was silent for a long time before he finally spoke. Talk about what? How much do you want? Name your price. The upper limit in Boss Ma's mind was 100 million, which was the price for business negotiations. But in his heart, he felt that Shun Shun was only worth a little more than 10 million. If the other party didn't like her, he wouldn't have paid so much money. Maybe Boss Ma treats Shun Shun as a commodity. Li Fan said, what I want to tell Boss Ma is that Shun Shun is priceless. We won't sign anything that she doesn't want to film, no matter how much it costs. Shin Shun looked at Li Fan in surprise. Think carefully before you speak. Boss Ma tapped his fingers lightly. The thug behind Li Fan took out a pistol and pressed it against the back of Li Fan's head. I'm a businessman, but I don't like to talk business with dead people. Boss Ma, what I want to tell you is that I'm not a businessman, Li Fan said as he tilted his head slightly. Then, he grabbed the burly man's hand and kicked the stool backward. The stool hit the burly man's leg, causing him to stagger forward. Li Fan pushed back and easily took the gun from the thug. At the same time, he strangled the thug's neck with his left hand and aimed the gun at Boss Ma. This move was complicated, but when Li Fan used it, it only took a moment. The other thugs around were all shocked and subconsciously wanted to pull out their guns. Li Fan glanced at Boss Ma and said with a smile, "Raise your hands high. Raise your hands. I'll kill anyone who dares to touch a gun." A thug in the distance didn't believe him and secretly reached for his waist. Li Fan directly fired a shot and hit Boss Ma's hand. Two of his fingers were directly shot off and became a bloody mess. Put down your guns. Hands up. Hands up. Boss Ma didn't act like a gentleman and roared again and again. The surrounding thugs were a little unwilling, but they still raised their hands high. Well, very good. Very obedient. Li Fan nodded with satisfaction. This is good. Everyone is civilized and love each other. Let that a good talk. With that, Li Fan glanced at Shin Shun. Shin Shun, come behind me. You can't escape. Boss Ma's face was a little twisted. He looked at Li Fan and said ruthlessly, "In City G, anyone who messes with me will not have a good life. You've reminded me. Should I just kill you? Is that more direct?" Li Fan hooked his finger on the trigger and pressed down little by little. Boss Ma's face turned pale. You won't live if you kill me. This Type 54 Black Star has a total of 11 bullets in it. One gun for each of us, plus this dog, is enough. Li Fan's calmness shook the hearts of the others. This guy was definitely a professional. If he was not a professional bodyguard, then he was a professional killer. Boss Ma, I'm just an ordinary student. I don't want to kill you. But remember, I'm only one person, and I'm just risking my life. If you piss me off, I'll fight you to the death. I'll exchange my life for yours. I think it's a good deal. Boss Ma's face twitched. He secretly glanced at the rough man. The rough man nodded and took 2 steps back. His eyes fell on an AK-47 hanging next to him. Li Fan instantly noticed his movement. He immediately kicked the leg of the thug next to him, and the thug fell to the ground. Li Fan followed up with his knee and knocked the thug out. At the same time, he grabbed the gun from him. Li Fan grabbed 2 guns, stepped on the chair, and fired at the thugs on both sides. Bang, 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 bang. The gunshots kept ringing. Li Fan accurately hit a thug's leg every time. The bullets of the Big Black Star had penetrating power. Almost in the blink of an eye, the legs of 4 thugs were pierced. Chapter 958. The room was very spacious, but it was crowded with many people. Many of the thugs wanted to fight back, but before they could pull out their guns, Li Fan's bullets had landed on their legs. This Li Fan seemed to have a cheat code. Not a single shot missed. The rough man stood at the side and looked at the valiant Li Fan. He couldn't believe his eyes. No matter how accurate a person's marksmanship was, it was impossible to be this accurate. For a pistol to be accurate, a few conditions must be met. First, the shooting range must not exceed 20 meters. Second, 3 points must form a line. Hold the gun with both hands and aim at the target. It was nonsense to hold a gun and shoot like in the movies. It was impossible to do in real life. But this man in front of him did it. Moreover, he used 2 guns. He fired left and right, and every shot hit the target. The thugs around him were also shooting, but it was not easy to hit a person. A few shots missed, but the manager shot one by one, and his men were all kneeling on the ground. With their legs broken, these people couldn't even raise their guns to shoot. One of the thugs was barely able to kneel on the ground. He raised both of his hands and aimed at Li Fan with trembling hands. Then he fired a shot. Bang! The bullet hit the ceiling above his head and flew off, shattering the glass at the side. Boss Ma, who was at the side, was so scared that he hid behind the desk. Li Fan continued to shoot and sent that thug's pistol flying. That thug's palm was torn and blood flowed out. Li Fan effortlessly took down all the thugs in the room. The rough man had already set up his AK-47 47, and was half kneeling on the ground. He used his knees to hold the gun, and the muzzle was aimed at Li Fan. Goodbye. The rough man said goodbye to Li Fan and pulled the trigger. 3 bullets were fired. In the rough man's line of sight, Li Fan should have been shot immediately and killed by himself here. But Li Fan's figure had disappeared. When the rough man turned his head, he saw this guy standing on his right. When did he come here? Bang, bang. Li Fan fired 2 shots. One shot hit the rough man's arm, and the other shot hit his calf, directly crippling his ability to move. It's better not to play with such a dangerous guy. Li Fan stretched out his hand and confiscated the rough man's AK-47. Then, he dismantled the gun into parts. The burly man was dumbfounded. Even he didn't know how to dismantle such a clean and beautiful technique. Just where did this man come from? Li Fan didn't wait for him to understand and smashed the rough man's head with the butt of the gun, directly knocking him out. At the same time, Li Fan walked over and pulled out the trembling Boss Ma from behind the desk. Boss Ma, do you still want our Shunshin to film? No, I don't dare. Boss Ma was impressed. This kid was a tough nut to crack. Provoking him would not end well. For Boss Ma, his net worth was not small. He had children and a wife. The person he didn't want to provoke the most was someone like Li Fan, who was not afraid of death. As the saying goes, the barefooted is not afraid of those who wear shoes. This saying still made some sense. I admit defeat. I really admit defeat. Shin, the bodyguard you hired is awesome. I admit defeat. From today onwards, I will not trouble you anymore. Really, Ma Warren, will keep my word. Boss Ma almost pulled out his soul to swear. Let him go. Li Fan turned his head and asked Shin. Let him go. Although Shin was willful and pampered, she didn't underestimate life. She looked at Boss Ma, who was crying with snot and tears all over his face, and her heart softened. Look, you're lucky. Li Fan patted Boss Ma's shoulder. Our Shun forgives you. Yes, thank you, big shot Shun. Boss Ma was relieved. As long as he could live, it was better than anything. He had a big business, so he didn't want to die. Okay, it seems like we've reached a deal. Li Fan clapped his hands, dismantled the 2 pistols into parts, and then threw them on the ground. Almost everyone in the room was injured, so no one dared to stop them. Li Fan brought Shun and swaggered out of the warehouse. Do you know how to drive? Li Fan pointed to a van and asked the big star beside him. You're asking me? Shun was surprised. Who do you think this lady is? It's always my assistant who drives me. I'm not your assistant. Li Fan shrugged his shoulders. Then call a car. Fuck, do you think I'm a taxi? Li Fan rolled his eyes at Shun. Gentle senior sister, what happened to taking care of my college life? Is this how you take care of me? R-rated movie, Boss Ma, gunfight? I know you've helped me a lot, but this is your honor. Shun snorted. You should be grateful to me. Do I have to kneel down and let you lick me? Li Fan asked, can I lick my legs? Don't lick my feet. I'm afraid you'll have athlete's foot. Bastard. Go to hell. Shin was furious. This bastard. I thought he was a bit handsome just now. He's just a scoundrel. I'll just call a car. Shin took out his mobile phone and found that it had been broken at some point. Bastard, Apple's things are so useless. Shin was furious. Without her cell phone, how could she find a car in this desolate wilderness? At this time, Li Fan started the van and waved at Shin. Get in, big shot, Shun. You know how to drive? A little. Then why didn't you say so earlier? You didn't ask. Shin wanted to curse, but in the end, she held back and obediently got in the van. Li Fan stepped on the accelerator, and the car suddenly sped away. Shun didn't even have time to fasten her seatbelt, and her whole body was pressed on the chair, making her scream. Where did you get your driver's license? Shin finally calmed down and immediately asked. Driver's license. Li Fan didn't look back. I don't have time to get a driver's license. MMP. Fuck you. Li Fan. Shin was about to cry. Li Fan, on the other hand, laughed out loud. Our big shot Shun finally called my name correctly. Stop the car. 555. Let's walk back, okay? Sit tight. I'm speeding up. Li Fan stepped on the accelerator, and the van began to speed up all the way to the city. Before 5 o'clock, Li Fan finally returned to school. He parked the car in the corner, and Xiaowan personally came to pick them up. God, I'm glad you're all right, Xiaowan hugged Shin tightly. I was scared to death. I almost had a heart attack. We're all right. I'm so beautiful. God doesn't want me to die. Li Fan followed behind and felt very helpless when he heard this. Chapter 9:59. I called the police, but the police said that an adult has been missing for less than 48 hours and did not allow me to file a case. Luan Air said angrily, "These irresponsible guys. You were kidnapped on the street. How can it be called missing? These bastards." Luan Air, who had always been gentle and elegant, could not help but curse. It could be seen how angry she was. It's okay, aren't we back now?" Shin seemed to be much gentler to Luan Air, constantly comforting her. "And then, it's good that you're okay. Have you eaten? Why don't I take you to the cafeteria to eat first?" "All right." Luan Air suddenly remembered and quickly said to Li Fan, "Li Fan, your luggage is with me. When you get to the dormitory, come and get it from me." "Okay, thank you, Senior Xiaowan." Li Fan thanked Luan Air. "Then I'll go report. See you two senior sisters." "You're not eating?" "It's too late, I can't report today." "Okay, this is your acceptance letter. I'll take it for you." Luan Air was very careful and handed the acceptance letter to Li Fan. "You go to the first teaching building in front. The academic affairs office has set up a reception there. You can report there." "Thank you, senior sister." Li Fan was about to leave, but Shun grabbed his arm. "Xiaowan, I'm not hungry anyway. You said you'll take care of your junior. How can you not care about your junior?" Luan Air was a little surprised. Originally, she also wanted to bring Li Fan to report, but because Shun was there, it was not convenient. Shun was a popular star. She should hate these troublesome things the most. If she did not take care of Shun, Luan Air would help Li Fan. In the end, Shun actually took the initiative to help Li Fan report. This was really strange. What had happened between the two of them? But when Li Fan looked at Shun's evil smile, he felt that it was not a good thing. This woman, what dirty trick was she planning? Li Fan did not believe that Shun was kind enough to send him to register by himself. This woman couldn't wait to strangle him halfway. How could she be so kind to him? Li Fan felt that it was strange that Shun could become a female celebrity. With her temper, she should be hated by everyone. Could it be that the values of the fans are so skewed these days? Public morals are getting worse day by day. Public morals are getting worse by the day. Li Fan could not help but sigh with emotion. "What do you mean?" Shun looked back at Li Fan. "This lady is kind enough to send you to report, but you say that." "No. Thank you very much, Senior Shun." Li Fan immediately corrected himself. "You can still take time out of your busy schedule to accompany a newbie like me to register. And it's good that you know." Only then did Shun nod in satisfaction. "It is such a great honor to be sent by this young lady to report." There was a faint smile on Shun's lips as he looked at Li Fan with a guilty conscience. At this time, there was a melodious music coming from the radio next to them. It was a girl's voice. "When the snow falls outside the window, I'm already old. You've seen the time I've passed," I've smiled. "The girl in my memory that I held hands with. Do you still love me? The moment you and I kissed, my heart palpitated." It was a very nice campus song. Li Fan listened to it, as if all the pores on his body were opened up. "Who sang this song? It's very nice, right?" Li Fan could not help but ask. He was indeed not very sensitive to these popular elements. Luaner smiled and pointed. Shun proudly raised her chin. "Besides this young lady, who else can sing such a beautiful song?" "Mortal, now do you know how powerful this young lady is?" Li Fan did not expect that this song was actually sung by Shun. He suddenly understood a little why Shun was so popular. But according to Boss Ma, Shun's throat was broken and she could no longer sing. This matter should also be true. "We're here." Luan pointed to the front door and then led the two into the first teaching building. The hall of the first teaching building was very spacious, with European-style spiral staircases on both sides. In the middle of the hall, there was a three-sided table to receive students who came to report. There were almost 2 students in front of each table, going through the formalities. The formalities were also like an assembly line. After finishing one, they moved on to the next. From registration to paying the tuition fee to getting the dormitory key, it was estimated that it would take a long time. There were too many people. Li Fan had to queue for a long time. At this time, Shunshin suddenly took off her mask and sunglasses and coughed twice. Someone turned around and saw Shun Chun and was stunned. Shun Chun. It's really Shun Chun. She's a student of our school? Damn, it's true. The students were a little excited. Lu Wen'er immediately signaled to the student council next to her. Several student council officers understood and immediately came over, forming a human wall, blocking in front of Shun Chun. Shun Chun stepped on the chair next to her, climbed directly on the table, and said in a loud voice, "Hello, students. I'm Shun Chun." Shun Chun's words attracted a burst of cheers. Many people were shouting, "Shun Chun, I love you," and so on. As everyone can see, I'm also a student of G University. I'm in my 2nd year this year. For the next month, I'll be attending classes with all of you. I'm also a student. To be able to push away all my schedules and come to school to learn knowledge is very precious to me. I hope that in this month, everyone will be good students with me and don't make things too difficult for me. Okay? Shin Shin seemed to be begging, but to Li Fan, why did it sound like an order? But the fans were very excited and shouted happily, "We support Shun Chun. We will definitely not disturb the goddess's life. Thank you, everyone." Shun Chun smiled sweetly, and everyone wanted to faint. "Shun Chun, do you have a boyfriend?" A boy finally couldn't help but ask. "I don't." Shun Chun's answer made them heave a sigh of relief. But then, Shun Chun said another sentence. "But I have a boy I like. It's a pity that he doesn't like me very much." Everyone instantly became angry. Who was it that was so shameless to win Shun Chun's heart and then abandon her? Student Li Fan, are you done with the paperwork? Shun Chun suddenly asked as she looked at Li Fan, who had taken the opportunity to complete the paperwork. She stood on the table with her arms crossed and looked at Li Fan with concern. There was a trace of shyness in her voice. "Do you want me to help you?" All the boys were about to explode. Their eyes all fell on Li Fan. Li Fan had just received the dormitory key. In his mouth was a piece of beef jerky that Xia Yi had secretly stuffed into his pocket. When he heard Shin Chin's question, he was stunned. "You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.